We thought it's a bug planet, but it just made the trailer and not the movie. Hey, this is the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. Now, a lot to jump into today. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be live early in the morning on Opie Radio because Trump is picking his vice presidential running mate. We will have it here exclusively 5 minutes before any of the major news feeds get it.
Nice.
I've been promised that by the Republican Party.
How'd you get that deal?
I'll tell you, there's a little dark horse, and I'm not saying he's going to be picked, but I'm hearing nods towards Regis.
No. Really?
Everybody likes Regis. I don't care who you are. You like Regis. Has anyone else been scratching after we talked to Don?
Yep,
Because
really bad.
You can't catch poison ivy from another person.
I'm not sure, and I didn't really think of it until after, but we did do a fist bump, and then my right hand started getting really itchy, and that's the hand that I bump with.
That's your bump hand.
That's my bump hand.
So you could spread it very quickly. You're patient zero. Well, I guess patient one. You'd be patient zero. I'd love to have Vito roll in some poison ivy so I could do that thing that I learned on YouTube, how you'll never get poison ivy again.
With the scrubbing.
Scrubbing and grease cutting soap. And that's it. You can, but I've had poison ivy. My friends have had poison ivy. But what Don has is deep scarring.
He showed us, and there are like burns, blisters.
Blistery burns.
Just like missing flesh in some spots.
He was showing it, and I threw up in my mouth, and all I thought is, drink it back down. Don't let him see that his body makes you puke.
He is so ashamed.
And like a gentleman, I sucked it back down, repuked it, drank it again.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Where do you feel pain when you see something?
I get it in the bottom of my feet. Now that you bring it up, I get an uneasiness in the bottom of my feet and sometimes my knees.
I get it in the thighs. My thighs are just
Chris?
Testicles.
All right. I think it might all be related to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to check with Vito.
I'm also a testicles guy.
Okay. Then you and Chris go get the testicle side.
That means you have to touch testicles.
Again. Like you normally do. Like you were Louis J. Gomez and Big J. Woohoo! That song's almost addictive. I love a song that you don't hear much, and then when you do hear it, you're like, this is great.
This is my favorite song.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way Sweet Home Alabama should be with me, but I still hear it too much to ever get back to being like, oh, this is great. Although I still turn it up as soon as he tells me to.
He demands it so.
And I have no problem with that. You know, Muscle Shoals has got those swampers, and they could pick a tune or two. All right, so that's a big day for us. Tomorrow, the VP will be getting picked. Now, the guys that are trying out to be VP, they meet with not just Trump, but his children as well. They don't say Melania, his wife, but the children are kind of the brain trust with Donald. That's nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's why maybe a lot of people were thinking Ivanka.
You're the only person thinking.
I think I secretly want it to happen because I'd like to see a father-daughter team, much like Bennington.
Do something well.
Wait, that's not what I meant.
Could he put his kids in the cabinet, or does it have to be an actual politician?
Nobody can tell you what to do.
Because you're the president.
Yeah, it's your cabinet. It's the guys that you're picking. No, generals go into cabinets all the time, and they don't hold political office, So, yeah.
They're going in.
Your short answer, I don't know why anybody would want a cabinet position, although I hear the lunches are unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah. You get not only surf, but turf on a daily basis.
Can I get double turf?
There's also, sure, I don't see any reason why not. If you want steak and meatballs, make it your day. There's also a beautiful thing of cold pastas. And not a lot of people care for a macaroni salad, but I'll go like this. I'll try some. I'll have a cold pasta.
I love mac salad.
You do?
I love it.
I had no idea.
I love macaroni salad. It's delicious.
You know what? You're a little more of a gentleman than I thought.
Thank you.
Now, Gail, you're not a cold pasta person.
I do like a cold pasta. I do like a macaroni salad. A pasta salad is usually what I call it.
I know your mother's family is not big on it.
No, they're not. And they think that it is disgusting,
Yeah.
but I found it to be delicious.
I think that they feel like they've trashed up pastas.
Yeah.
That's their problems.
But I'm fine with it because I have both. Yes, I'm of Italian heritage, but I was born in the South.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Over there a lot, there'll be, on a hot summer day, there's a steaming pile of fucking spaghetti waiting for you.
Yeah.
As you get in, you're like, any cold pastas? Hey, look at him. He wants a cold pasta. What are you supposed to do with that? Hey, Vito, take a look at him. Vito, the beard's really coming in big now.
Yeah, I let it grow for like a week and a half or so, and then I trim it down. That's my thing.
He needs to grow a summer beard, is what he needs.
Summer beard had me a blast.
Ow.
Well, I think it looks good for you. It ages you by 40 years.
And I use it as a frame for my face.
That's a picture frame for your face, my friend.
It gives the illusion of a chin.
Don't be down on yourself.
Stop it.
You got to believe
You're a
in
handsome
yourself.
young man. Stop
I saw.
it.
I'm going to give you a little bit of advice here today, and I saw what you were doing training Chris Stanley today.
Thank you, Vito.
And I'd rather. I mean, all the training went great, but I'd rather he did not chug a seltzer after his run. I don't think it's healthy.
Oh, that
I've never
sounds like
seen it
it's
done
just-
at any training camp.
No, it sounds like that would just mix up in your belly.
I like
there.
the bubbles. I'm a straight seltzer guy when I'm in training.
Yeah, I get drinking a seltzer. It's a
Yeah.
nice thing to do. It's refreshing. Chugging a seltzer, I think, brings too much gas into the system too quickly.
I like to get the gas out too, so it feels good to get the gas out.
Oh, God.
Out of the mouth, I mean.
The way you do it, it's disgusting, dude.
And I did a 5K in 28 minutes. It was amazing.
Yeah.
28:05.
Okay, so over 28 minutes is not where I want to see you at this time.
This is day 2. It's day 2.
Day 2 for you. Everybody else has been training since last goddamn January.
What, you have 2 weeks?
I have 14 days. I'm shaving time off every day.
I want to put this out to everybody. If you haven't seen Gary Goldman stand up, it's over at the iBang, and you could. There are people saying that you can't do a mile in 28 minutes.
Well, they're haters and trolls.
But Gary Goldman was on the Conan O'Brien show last night, and we all sit around and marvel just the way he writes. This thing was performed so well that it's almost like a little screenplay.
Yeah, it's amazing the way he takes us like
Details.
a late night set. Yeah, and there's an arc to all of them.
There had to be 92 jokes
Yeah.
in his 6 minutes, and all of them building on each
Yeah.
other. It's very funny. It's over on the iBang, but he really, if they did like Oscar nominations for that, it's better than most people's screenplays. And I'm looking at you right now, the guy who wrote Spotlight. By the way, Vito, your favorite movie of the year so far, Everybody Got Some. I rewatched it since I had it on the 48. Liked it even more the second time. And I realized I was having trouble telling all the guys apart the first time I watched it. I didn't know who was who. It's a very light little film. Dig it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like them going in between every fad. I just didn't like the romantic angle. I didn't think it was necessary.
You never do. You want a bromance.
Yeah,
And what they were saying is this kid is more mature than you. He was just looking for more than a baseball Annie. He was looking to have an evolved college relationship. Doesn't mean it's going to be the love of his life, but somebody that he could spend a couple years with.
And read poetry too, and lines from Walt Whitman books.
I know that you hate poetry.
I don't
He
hate
says
all
it
poetry.
hurts. He said to me the other day, poetry hurts.
Why does it hurt you so?
Because it doesn't rhyme.
Look, it's just like your summer romance this year, Coach. That's, it's sweet. All of us know it won't last.
He's
And it's-
really girl crazy.
And it's forbidden, too.
Hey, the Emmy noms came out today. No nomination for The Daily Show. That hasn't happened in a million years. No nomination for The Stephen Colbert Show. And surprisingly, no Samantha Bee.
Really?
Yeah, and
That one of all three, I'm very shocked at. because it just seems like she has gotten so much attention. People seem to really love what she's doing.
But in that category, Jerry Seinfeld was nominated for The Internet. What he did got nominated as a TV show.
Really?
Yeah. You got to understand, he's drinking coffee and driving.
On the internet.
I mean, it does sound difficult.
It is. Yeah. One time he had it between his legs, had to stop fast, burn himself.
Oh, God.
On the beach?
Yeah. But they were 9th degree burns. So it's just like having some warm water on your balls. So he's fine.
Pleasant, actually.
This is why I hate the new system. Johnny has called this on the hotline. And it looks, he's at the top instead of the bottom.
Oh, that's not where the hotline goes.
Thank you. Wait, this is even different than yesterday, Chris.
Oh, wait, yeah, okay, so now it's on the right-hand side.
You're supposed to, why are you surprised? You're the producer. Oh, God, Johnny.
See, and there's a whole new noise when you pick up, and I'm calling on a regular line because the hotline doesn't seem to work anymore.
I've been talking to them about fixing the hotline. They're still on.
So nothing has really changed because I'm now on the regular line, but when you pick up the phone, it used to make a weird noise. Now it just goes bing, which is really weird.
Why don't we do this? We take away Johnny's hotline privileges.
Done.
Ow.
Taken away.
It's a ding instead of the static sound?
That's what it sounded like. Yeah, it sounded more like a ding, although I was clearing my throat, so I don't know. It was terrible. Terrible.
What can we do for you, Johnny?
I have a question.
Oh, God.
It goes back to a little bit earlier in the show, not much earlier because it's early in the show. Pasta salad. What's in pasta salad?
Well, I tell you the truth, I've never made one. I've only eaten them at different picnics.
Right.
But I imagine it's a cold pasta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be a mayo thing that goes into it. And then little chunks of different things.
Like peppers, maybe?
Yeah, pepper, some red and green.
Yeah.
Does a celery go in?
There could be a
Sure.
celery. Yeah.
Sure. If someone puts tuna fish in it, does it still make it pasta salad?
I would say no. Then you've got a tuna fish salad that you've put pasta into.
Thank you. This is an age-old debate that I'm I love everybody in the world, but this is literal down the divide of black and white.
Okay. This is what I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Is it predominantly pasta?
Yeah, it's mostly pasta, but there's tuna in there, so it ceases to become pasta salad.
If there's any other protein in there, say a shredded chicken.
I don't think that's a pasta salad.
So it's only pasta is the main ingredient? There can't be a sub...
I mean, a pepper is in there. I'm not calling it a pepper salad, you know?
Exactly. That's why it's...
I don't think I want to just be eating tuna as a side dish. You know,
it's part of the ingredients. I would say it's still a pasta salad if you're saying the main ingredient is pasta and there's like a couple tablespoons.
Now, Jenny,
tuna.
You're saying this is kind of an Obama-Trump thing that the.
I mean, if you had to go that way, sure. And literally, I was told if I showed up at a Southern black picnic with pasta salad that didn't have any tuna in it, I would be chased out.
First of all, you're going to be chased out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think
sure
I'd be
you're not
in that
invited.
situation. Right, I didn't think I'd be there
there.
anyway. No, that's fine. There's places we belong, places we don't.
Johnny would just say this to his friends: "They're using our grill.
They better not break that."
Let's just go.
Just let them.
And put a little bit of crab in mine.
You know what? I got a pool. Let's just go there.
Just stay there in the first place.
I had never heard this before, but I don't go to a lot of Southern, picnics.
I absolutely stand by it's still a pasta salad. And in fact, that sounds like a delicious pasta salad to me.
It is. It's a delicious pasta tuna salad or a pasta salad with tuna, not just pasta salad.
Pasta fish salad, it's called.
I might even have to take myself out of this as a judge because I remember my dad used to say to me that I could fuck up a Southern picnic.
That's a good term.
Yeah. There's a Southern picnic where I come from. The youngins call it country, and the Yankees call it dumb. It's the best fucking lyric ever. Johnny, I'm going to agree with you. I think whoever said this to you is no longer your friend. But just to be sure, I think you should call Jimmy's Advice Show. And just to make sure you get the perfect ending to this
I'm going to a black picnic. Should I put pasta and tuna in the salad?
Yes.
Great call. I don't. I don't think I'd want to be at that picnic. To be totally honest,
I would.
That sounds a little racist.
I need them separate. I love both things very much. Tuna salad and macaroni salad. I need them separate.
I would have figured you would have been welcoming this pasta fish salad.
I just want my tuna salad straight, uncut.
Uncut, a whole tuna, just.
Steven talks about tossing a pepper salad.
Ew! I didn't like his.
Especially after that 5K this morning.
Yeah, I killed in that 5K, and I haven't showered. I'm smelling a little ripe.
I don't even like you saying that.
I don't like when somebody uses that term ripe.
I don't like that either.
To describe their body odor.
It means optimal.
All right, Johnny.
Later, Bennington.
Love, luck, and lollipops, my friend. I honestly, to me, got me off to a little bit of a disgusting.
Really?
I don't like the idea of tuna sitting in the sun.
But you don't have to shade it.
Shade is not enough.
Do you really want your
option.
pasta salad in the sun? I'll
humid?
remind you, there's mayo.
I'm going to say this: don't bring it to the picnic. I don't like to see things get ripe in the summer sun.
What if you keep it in a cooler?
Cooler?
Put it in the cooler.
Cooler. This is horrific.
I think it sounds delicious.
You know, by the way, the older I get, the less I want to go to any picnics. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
I like a nice picnic.
I don't like it. Even as a young man, I don't like a picnic. I don't like it. And
you call yourself a young man?
Even as a youngster like me, even as a Generation Y kid like myself, Yeah, I'm a millennial. I'm on the fucking,
No, just stop it. Go back to what your original
It was really weird. I don't want you to get away with it. You sound like a young man like myself.
Seriously, your intestines are old, Chris. Hey, Khalib, do we got you, buddy?
Yeah, Caleb.
All right.
Hey. So Werner Herzog just put out a 6-hour video lecture online about film directing.
Uh-huh.
I think Vito needs to get enrolled in this. It's $90. It's like 30 lectures.
Well, we were talking about doing the one with the screenwriter, right?
Sorkin.
Yeah, Sorkin is doing
Sorkin's got one.
These things are like Trump University to me, though. You're not going to become something after watching somebody talk.
I don't know.
It's a masterclass.
You guys got to see the trailer for Herzog.
He's got Kevin Spacey, Chris's favorite actor. Who's that?
Christina Aguilera.
Why is she talking about anything?
She's teaching singing.
She's singing, he says. The youngster just says singing.
James Patterson teaches writing.
Writing.
Here's the thing with James Patterson. He doesn't write anything. He has people write for him.
Really?
Yeah, he's got like 7 books going at the same time. And he comes up with the idea, and then they type it out, and they put James. You couldn't possibly write the amount of books that this guy puts out.
A liar.
No, well, I know about it, so it's not like he lies. He says he does it. The Million Little Pieces guy does the same thing.
I heard he writes sci-fi now.
He doesn't write it. I'm fucking trying to tell you that. And if it's got an angel in it, it isn't sci-fi. They aim it at the YA audience is the only people left who read.
Yeah. Only the wise.
Yeah. I read, but just the sides of cans to see whether. There's sodium in there. Better drop it. Who else?
Usher teaches the art of performance.
This is all $90 a piece?
All $90.
I keep going.
Dustin Hoffman teaches acting. Serena Williams teaches tennis.
How can I learn tennis from watching it? I already watch her and I can't fucking play.
If you didn't pick it up from that.
And then coming soon is Aaron Sorkin teaching screenwriting.
Uh-huh.
Annie Leibovitz teaching photography.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I don't even know if I told you guys who was in an Annie Leibovitz picture. Master Jim Norton.
You did tell me
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to me. That's so cool. I mean, for a guy who kind of collects pictures of himself with people, now he has this, she's probably going to be the last famous photographer.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even name any other be close to her at this point.
Chris does,
I do a lot,
selfies.
Street photography.
I mean, I have an Instagram. I don't know if that counts.
Somebody said that woman fell off the Grand Canyon taking a selfie of herself.
She was taking a picture of the sunset.
Oh, jeez.
And she backed off the...
The problem with being at the Grand Canyon, have you ever been there before, Chris?
Never.
Just say that's a joke. He's been in that place like across from George Washington. What do they call those bluffs there? They have the Palisades.
Oh, I've been there.
He stands at the top of the Palisades. They actually are pretty nice. But when you're at the Grand Canyon, you're so high that you don't even get a feeling of high.
It doesn't even look real.
So you're kind of leaning over going, what is it, about a mile down there? You know? But if you were like 50 feet off the ground, you're like, oh, God.
Oh, shit.
Can't stand it. But it feels like you're in a VR. By the way, I noticed you're done with VR, right?
There hasn't been a lot of new content put out. I can only be Iron Man so many times.
Well, the problem
Iron Man, really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
The problem with you saying there's not enough new content is you were consuming it at such a
I really
fast...
ripped through it. Like I need everything.
You stayed up till 4 a.m. the first night that you had your VR helmet.
I'm going to say this. I think that the future got here too fast. I don't think any of us have been ready for this Pokemon VR, fucking Tinder.
This virtual augmented reality is the future.
I think it's why we don't know who to fucking vote for in this election. You know what I mean? Everything's too confusing.
Yeah, and it's all fast approaching. Like as soon as you think you can adapt to something, it's like the rules change.
No, as soon as I thought the self-driving car was a great idea, somebody died. Yeah. I can't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I can't get 5 minutes just to relax in the present.
And it's not worth the risk at that point.
Well, nothing is. I'm just going to stay at home with my VR helmet on.
Do it.
Talking to my rowboat.
Up on the iBang, there's a list of the top 10 predictions that are like the scariest predictions that people are saying the future will hold for us.
Really?
Yes. So
let's see if we can even guess any.
Okay.
I got one. Water riots. The fucking world runs out of drinkable water and there's riots everywhere.
Okay.
Okay,
got it. I'm not sure you named it well, but okay.
I thought the water was right.
Is that
like a flood? The water turns against the people.
Instead of saying you're stupid, I just went, what? What?
The thing we held most precious to us.
All right, let's look at it. Is there water riots?
No.
Let's go over to the veto family.
Robots petitioning for equal rights.
Well, I think even scarier is the robot revolution.
Yes, that is on there. Is that robots become they easily can control humans?
Not that they petition for human rights.
That's the
You're
start.
not gay, dude.
That's just like saying that sounds annoying, not so much
Fucking
dangerous.
robot
Oh
petition.
God, they're out there protesting for their rights.
Another petition.
Don't they realize these don't work?
Can we ask you to sign this?
Is that for water riots?
Excuse me, do you have a moment for robot rights?
No. Wouldn't work.
I hate that fucking robot. Where's the one that's killing me? Just bothering me when I'm trying to walk through the mall.
Sir, do you support your robot slaves?
Look, I really am on my way to work right now. I don't have time for
It's just going to take 1 minute. I just need your email address and signature.
You see me pointing at my earbuds.
Sorry.
It's my thing. I'll put them in when I see people. Earbuds.
I've already signed up. No, you haven't. We just started today.
Yeah, I gotta go, though. Let me catch you on my way back. Robot. All right, I'm going to pick the pandemic.
Yes, the pandemic is on there. And not only is it possible, but they're saying that like virtually anyone will be able to create their own pandemic.
What?
What's ever done for?
Personal pandemics? That's just somebody having diarrhea. I'm having a pandemic in my ass.
Again.
I can't explain the science behind it.
It's up there with water riots. By the way,
so they're saying that like terrorist groups, rogue states,
anybody can start.
Yeah, that it would be more common.
Hey, than a bomb, you could just come up with unleashing.
Exactly.
Now, what if we took Vito's and Chris's and put it together, and they were water rights, where the water is asking you.
We're fucked.
You have a moment for water rights.
Was that
it's very hard to do water impression, by the way.
It's actually pretty good. Bloop, bloop. Robots asking if they could drive.
Robots asking for an allowance instead of just doing what they're told.
Robots eating a piece of cake that you put away for yourself. Tell me, robots eating cake. All right, so Chris, it's back to you.
Okay.
Try to top water riots because that one was great.
Water. It's another fucking water thing. We lose all of our coastlines because of.
Well, we're still gonna have coastlines.
Like New York is underwater. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying everything is land.
Global warming.
You just predicted everything becomes land.
Me and my husband bought this house down here in South Carolina. We were right on the beach. Now we're 800 miles away from it. I mean, I live in an inland empire. This started much after the water riots and they left. Losing our coastline is the funniest fucking. You're fucking great at this, dude.
Well, is it on the list?
No.
Come on, what the fuck?
Why do they get
We've
so
been hearing
angry?
people.
Dude, don't be angry. This is a fun thing we're doing. It's a fun thing that's going to kill us.
I just want to get on this goddamn board.
There's no reason for you, though.
It's not even a physical board.
No, there's no board. And you're not being judged.
Okay.
You came up with the two stupidest, funniest things.
No,
well, I know Vito may fit in a second somewhere. All right, so we're not losing our coastline.
No, Vito, do you have another guess?
What about like animals getting too smart for us?
What the fuck?
Planet of the Apes. Dude, you're proving that it's happening.
We're talking about actual things that you've probably heard discussed before. You guys are creating your own weird fears.
No, global warming and us running out of water. I've heard this talked about before.
Evolution.
Well, I lost my job doing orangutan. What can I do? They're getting too smart for us. Now, what do you got?
All right. So do you want me to go through what they are?
Let's just read it off. We're too stupid to take this test.
Virtually anyone could create their own pandemic. People will transfer their minds to computers, and that's actually suicide. Like that people will think that that's the right answer to like living eternally, but it's actually suicide because there's no way.
It's not you.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way to. What they're saying is there's no way to actually transfer consciousness.
Right.
So you can download your memories into a machine, but you would not be able to download your consciousness, and there would be no way for us to figure out how to transfer that.
But I would also argue, even downloading your memories aren't exactly truth. You know,
Right.
There's some perception that you had at a certain time. Hence, there are no actual memories.
Right. All right. Next one is the loss of government becoming too big and over controlling, loss of civil liberties and freedoms and privacy and stuff like that.
I'm ready for that right now.
Which
Just
kind
feel
of
like we're in jail all the time. I wish
Planet.
bars would open
Yeah.
when it was time for you to go to work.
well, that really leads into the next one, which is just about privacy, that everyone will be watched 24/7, Big Brother style.
Yeah.
Robots will find it easy to manipulate us.
That kind of goes into what he's saying with robot rights.
Right? Climate change will be irreversible. Chris, you were close, but it was not lacking.
Should have given me the goddamn points.
We're going to lose our coastlines is one of the dumbest things.
You know what I was talking about.
No, I didn't. That's why I was so shocked.
This is one I didn't think of. The antibiotic era will end, that we will become too immune to the antibiotics that
I try never to use an antibiotic.
Yeah, me too.
And some people get it. Like, I know people are like, I'm going to go get it. Antibiotics. I'm like, again? What's going to happen when you actually need them?
Yeah.
When the personal pandemic starts.
Exactly. That anyone can do. Robots killing humans will be a disturbing routine where people will be programming robots to kill humans. We will lose all our satellites, either to some sort of malfunction, solar flare, where they're just completely
There'll be
fried.
mass suicides if that happens.
Yeah, we would have to start from scratch, like anything that involved.
When I saw Ghostbusters the other night, the moments the light can't come up, 100% of the people were checking. And I was going like this. Oh, this is disgusting. Look at these people. Why I'm sitting there to see if I got any texts, why I was off the grid for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Crazy.
And then the last one, which some might see as a pro or a con, we will never make contact with aliens.
I think it's scarier to make contact with them.
That's why I think it depends on your personality. Some people think it would be sad if the human race never made contact. Other people are like, I don't think it's a good idea.
I'd love to camouflage this planet somehow to make it look like a barren wasteland so nobody would want it.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Because if we do make contact, it'll be on their terms, not ours, because we are not there yet. And
look at our staff. I mean, we're pretty dumb species.
And if they're going to be somehow smart enough to get to us,
the first thing they want to do, steal the water, steal our coastlines, turn our robots against us.
Giving them all the rights.
My thing, disguising this planet to look barren wasteland. And the person I'm pitching it to, and I think this is perfect, is Baron Hilton. And I'm going to say, you're already a baron. Let's fucking baron up the whole planet. Hashtag let's baron up the whole planet.
Baron for Baron.
It's even better. I wish I would have done that before I started my fucking hashtag. Because it's too long. People could just write O for okay. They can't even get an okay in there. God damn, it's so hard in this Twitterverse. But those are all frightening.
Yeah, they're all scary.
The future is no place for us, folks. Let's fucking stay here in the present. And if we can, let's try to even lean back a couple years. Look how much he said he'd loved to been alive in 1980 and playing in baseball in Texas. Vito, you would have been happier in the past than you are in your own present.
Way happier. They look like they're having the time of their lives out there.
Yeah.
I don't have the time of my life at all now.
You'll have the time of your life.
So of all the ideas that I mentioned, what to you personally is the scariest of those?
Losing the coastline.
It's going to be fucked up. New York's going to be a goddamn lake.
I mean, I didn't think this was going to be my scariest, but now personal pandemic is fucking disgusting.
That's the one that really freaked me out.
Did it?
Yeah.
How about for you, Vitz?
I think the one of people putting their brains into AI and committing suicide that way.
I don't give a shit about those fuckers upload.
Because you'll never do it.
No.
But what if it's
I don't
forced?
even upload pictures.
What if it was like like the government forced people to do it? You're like, sorry, you have to sign up for this.
That is why I'm voting for Trump. Because I don't want to. And I feel like he's going to make a lot of bad decisions, but at least he'll make decisions. I hope he doesn't pick Newt. It doesn't seem new if he picks Newt, you know?
Mm-mm.
He's not going to pick Newt.
You know?
No,
Who's he going to pick? Chris Christie?
He's going to pick Pence. He's going to pick Pence.
I don't even know anything about Pence.
I don't know. It could be Newt. But you're right. That's the problem with Newt, is that there's nothing exciting. The's nothing new.
Was he like the Speaker of the House in the 80s or some shit, or the 90s?
90s.
They should call him Old Gingrich.
Holy shit, that's fucking great. Hashtag that. You know what? Don't even bother hashtag. I'm uploading my personality to the computer right now. Fucking just running around in a little circle there. That way, you know, that whole thing of why does anybody think being a computer would be a good thing? You know?
I don't know.
Ugh.
But I think that people fear death so strongly that they believe that if they could transfer themselves onto something that is indestructible or can at least last longer than the human body, that gives some people comfort.
Yeah, but they just left this power outage. Your fucking brain's gone. It's over, buddy. Some like Russian billionaire is trying to do it.
What,
like,
you never heard of battery?
What if the fucking power doesn't come back on? The battery's going to run out.
The power's never coming back on? You just reboot. You reboot your brain. Hey, Rose in California. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Great.
What's going on with you this morning?
Oh, we're just having this little conversation about an awful future.
Oh, I know. I was, I'm a big fan of the science fiction movies. Not, not the real esoteric ones, but like War of the Worlds and I, Robot, and what's the other one I was thinking of? And 3 of them had Will Smith in them, which is kind of
Will Smith is going to be in the future. There's no doubt about it.
He is in the future, and his son is in the future. But anyway, it's like things are somewhere between I, Robot and Fury Road, Mad Max. It's like it can go either way, and there will probably be sections that'll be one way and sections that'll be totally the other way. But science and medicine come up with so much stuff so fast,
too fast,
and the science and the space program. My God. That's what we got the Tempur-Pedic beds for one thing. I mean, there's and it's so hard to keep up with the ethics of that because it just happens.
But we just had a robot kill someone the other day, and everyone went cool, and that's kind of frightening, but doesn't it make when you think about it? Yeah. Okay, when you're trying to defend your squad, your men, and you know that putting another people in front of of a guy that's already killed a bunch of folks, or guys who've killed a bunch of folks. If you can lessen your losses, why wouldn't you do that? Because
and I'm sure that like the people that were on that, like the families and the guys that were on that team were really glad.
I get that, but you just can't take one situation and act like you don't understand that bad situations can come out of that. That's the scary part of this. Now, I was walking around 23rd Street the other day, and I thought to myself, what would weird me out if I came here, if I was like 8 or 10 years old and I was just here now? What would look so different? And I'm looking at like women in yoga pants, which is strange.
Right.
That would have been like basically someone walking around in their underwear when I was younger. Like someone forgot to put their dress over their fucking stockings. And I'm seeing people talking on phones and people listening to iBuds. But what really got to me, I think would have freaked me out when I was a kid, is men pulling their suitcase on wheels. It would have looked like the pussiest thing in the whole world. No man would have pulled a suitcase on wheels down the street.
I had a very similar moment yesterday where I was standing on a street corner. I could look to my left and to my right, and everyone around me was playing Pokemon Go. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, I could think of myself when I was a little kid, and if this were to be explained to me, this like futuristic type video game that everyone was playing in this city. And then I turned, and the man next to me was smoking an e-cig, and I was like, that would really have
saw some e-cigs too. And I was thinking the same thing. That's weird that you and I had the same thought.
Yeah.
But also remember, just like when you were a little kid, how bad Madden was. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
good God.
You couldn't make, and those little hand games that were just like blinkers.
It was shit. It was just black and white.
Yeah, it was like a light moving across, and you would play it for 12 hours.
It was ink. There was like ink behind that screen. That's how they fucking had the graphics on it.
Now, here's something kind of interesting. Kids who grew up playing video games, who are like so obsessive, you like pick up a kid's video game right now, and you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this thing. But they say that actually people who grew up on video games when they were just at their beginning are actually better video game players because video games were so difficult then, and that like to control something, like you had to use so much more of your like thumb and hand-eye coordination to achieve something because it was so like basic and everything would just like move. Whereas now everything's so fluid.
Not only that, but it helps you.
Yeah.
Like the game, like I noticed when I'm playing the soccer game, I'm not actually making some of those passes that I'm making. There's no fucking way I'm fighting an open man like that 1 second. It's like the game kind of moves on. I'm like, here's what you're thinking, right?
That's what you wanted.
We'll get back to the future, but right now in the present, this is the type of show that gets big superstar comedians that check in with them.
Really?
I'm even blown away by this. Amy Miller is on the phone.
Hello.
Amy.
Bennington.
How
Hi,
are you?
Bennington.
Well, we missed you since you went out west.
I miss you guys so much.
We had like a nice like month with you.
I know. I got to see you guys a lot, and now I see you never. Have you guys ever seen the guy with the rolly bag who also puts his laptop on top of the rolly bag?
Really uncomfortable.
Stands up at the airport just typing with his laptop.
It's a movable desk.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, you've got to see that. You're traveling all the time.
Yes, usually in a car, but I'm moving up to airport.
Wow.
Sure.
Really?
Superstar Amy. What's happening with your career lately, Amy?
I just recorded my first album.
Whoa.
Yay!
I know, probably like one of the saddest news cycles last week to record a comedy album in the middle of. But I did it for Kill Rock Stars, which Gail's probably familiar with. They're like kind of a punk label out of Portland, and
Yeah.
they're doing comedy now. And
That's very cool.
and, yeah, it's a weird thing to just put those jokes down and set them free, but I think it went well.
Are you done with those jokes now?
Well, no, Ron, I can't be because I'm too new, and I need some of those. I'll probably drop the one about cop killing at this point.
You probably, yeah.
I think you
like,
can let that go.
I feel like that's already had an expiration date. All right, how do we get this? How do we get this album?
It's coming out in the fall through Kill Stars, and you'll be able to get it, iTunes, Spotify, everywhere. And I'll be having a big release show out here in Portland.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I miss you guys so much.
Us too. Chris, make sure as soon as that comes out, we run it right up the stairs to Jack.
Will do.
Get him to make one of those big deals he does.
Okay.
One of those big Sirius XM deals.
Okay.
Put out a press release. The deal's coming soon.
Got it. Done.
Yeah, Chris, write a press release.
Yeah, write up a nice press release.
Do it nice.
And yeah, no
Make
F-bombs.
it like really nice.
All right, no F-bombs. I'm going to write that down.
It's for Amy, please.
No F-bombs.
And no graphic images of any kind.
No, we're done with that.
Yeah,
There goes
don't
the next
do
idea.
that.
All right,
Yeah.
so none of that. Done.
Just a nice, respectful bio. I'll give you a couple quotes.
Well, we're all excited about this, Amy. Make sure you stay in touch with us, okay?
I definitely will. Thanks, guys.
All right, talk to you soon,
Bye,
darling.
Amy.
Amy Miller, superstar comedian, putting out her first big album
That's going to be so great.
on a punk rock label.
Yes. Yeah, that is a very cool label. They've been around since the 90s.
Yeah, I always wanted my own label. It just seems like it would be a nice thing to have.
And it seems like a cool thing to say to people.
Well, I have my own label.
What do you do? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it seems like it, but I can't find any good bands.
That sounds very punk rock, though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think I'm just going to move into comedy.
It's an indie label, right?
Yeah, it's an indie label. There's no un-indie labels anymore, is there? Do people still sign with Sony, CBS, Atlantic? Does that still happen? I'm with Decca right now. We're very excited. That would actually have been I think that was one of our ideas when we did GPS, was just going to be labels, history of labels.
Yes, we had a couple different ideas.
Oh, you know why? Because we're talking with Jack Holtzman, who had the Doors label. Was that like
Elektra?
Elektra, which was a very cool. It was an indie label, at one time in the '60s, and then got bought. What you really want to do is sell your indie label to one of the big majors. But he had Love on that. He had the Doors. He basically had bands on the Strip that blew up. But I would like to have that kind of label, and then you go and get like at the guys that are closer to their end of their career, but they're still cool, like Willie Nelson.
Yeah,
and you're like, we just signed Willie Nelson. Well, the guy who started ronfez.net when he was a baby has his own cool label.
That is the best. I think that we should do something called Label Maker.
Holy shit. And we get labels for other people.
And I have a great idea for the logo. It looks like it was made with a Label Maker.
Fuck.
Shit.
This is also great. I like when bands like Led Zeppelin had their own label for a while. I don't know. I think they only had Bad Company on there, but I'm not. Just us and Bad Company. But that's pretty fucking cool. But I always wondered, why doesn't Louis C.K. start a management group? You know, I know is there no money in that compared to what he does? Because he started his own producing company where he put Zach Galifianakis' show on TV, which is great. He's going to be doing Barry Crimmins' new special, which is really, really cool. But why wouldn't you just say, let me book your dates for you too? I hired 2 people and they're going to book all your dates. And then you do it like a Louis C.K. presents. It's traveling around clubs. People don't know who these kids are, but they're like, hey, Louis likes them.
I'll sign me up.
I'll go see him.
It's got his seal of approval.
Vito, any news on your new album? I know you did that one set that killed.
No, we have no album coming out yet. We're still working on all the details.
I'll tell you our problem. We haven't rebooked another Comedy 101 yet.
We've got to do it.
Maybe we think it's too much. Maybe the people want it, or is August too much of a, it's hot, it's slow, we're going to the beach,
I'd like to do it in August.
Maybe we do it outdoors, Central Park,
Comedy 101 in the park?
And everyone has to wear their bathing suits.
Yeah, because we're going to have water slides there and stuff.
Like some slip and slides.
And then just this one place where it's just bubbles. You go running through bubbles.
Awesome.
This is great. Chris, can you get all this down?
I'll get those bubbles.
You can come up and meet us in Montreal, which is, we're having a little meeting on that. I didn't realize that Gail, you and Vito want to go do all kinds of fun stuff in Montreal.
Yeah.
I thought this was a business trip, but I heard you two talking. It sounds more like a pleasure trip.
Yes, we want to take up, we don't want one moment wasted in Montreal. We want to just fill our schedule the entire time.
Well, we're going to have a lot of friends there, too. Big J's going to be up. Voss and Bonnie are going to be in Montreal. Anyway, come meet us. Tell people how you do it, Chris.
That's happening July 28th and 29th. That's 2 weeks from today. Go to theinterrobang.com and click on it's on the left side of the page, Unmasked is heading to Montreal. Click on that and sign up, and that's how you get tickets to see us.
Montreal. Also, a very cool Unmasked show, which is basically going to have the cast of a movie.
The cast of Mike Birbiglia's new film, Don't Think Twice. That Unmasked is happening next Tuesday, July 19th at 11:30 a.m. at the SiriusXM studios. Go to theinterrobang.com to get your chance at free tickets. That's Mike Birbiglia and the cast.
And we will tell you, part of the cast is a sex symbol, an actual sex symbol.
Oh, yeah. Ms.
Very
Gillian
sexy.
Jacobs and Miss Kate McCucci.
So everyone knows
Gillian Jacobs
from Community, where she established herself as a funny sex symbol.
And also Love,
Love her
which
on
she's fantastic in.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people really crush on the Gillian Jacobs.
Love her. Vito's got a big nod on that.
He does.
Oh, yeah, when I fell all over in love with her in that show, when I was watching Love. Obviously in Community, too, but in Love, there was just something about her that was so sexy.
Yeah, but she's like a train wreck in Love.
Yeah, but I disliked the guy more than her. I thought he was more of a train wreck than her.
He got on my fucking nerves, too. But then at the end of it, I had to admit to myself, they're both train wrecks.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the weird thing about this show, Love. They're kind of unlovable.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about her is it seems like she'll wear the same bathing suit top. Even going out like it's under something, but you can see it for days at a time.
That's what hooked me.
And that's what worked for you?
That red bathing suit top got me all involved.
You don't think that she should, I don't know, maybe wash up more on that show?
He likes a dirty girl.
Like the grunge look.
I don't know if I would consider that grunge. It's more grungy. Here is, let's go to Aaron. Aaron, what's up, buddy?
Nothing. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Love your show. Make me laugh all day driving around.
Thanks, man.
Just you guys talking about the future and robots. Did you ever see the movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis?
Yes, Surrogates was, instead of having an icon on a computer, your icon moved around and lived your life for you.
Yeah.
So the surrogates were living
just
the
sat
life.
in their bedrooms.
Yeah, and you were staying in your bedroom with a headset on.
Interesting. So you could just relax. They're getting stuff done. They're out there meeting people.
Yeah, and they're having sex with each other.
And through the surrogates.
Yeah, and they look better than you.
It's all like sexy young. Everyone has a sexy young surrogate.
Now, if you like this, let me just point this out. Bruce Willis doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
And he was out to destroy it like he always does.
He doesn't let us have any fun.
No. Randy in Arkansas.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, buddy.
I I was just driving through town and heard you guys talking about the future.
Yeah.
I'm 58, almost 59 years old. Man, I've seen some crazy things in the past 58 years, and I always, look forward to what the hell's coming up next. One of my biggest fears is what the hell's going to happen to music. But then the beauty of it is that indie labels do give good music somewhere to go. And there's still some really good music out there, although a lot of the more commercial crap,
I'll think about that when I'm dying from a pandemic. I'll be like, hey, I just got a good album before I want to be throwing up my own brains.
But I'm a musician. I've been playing music all my life. And I just watching how the future goes now. I mean, from playing rock in the 80s and touring with the group that I played with then, and now at 58, I'm playing a jazz trio.
That's cool.
Mostly because it's more age appropriate, and it's just how time takes us, man. I still appreciate the future, and I can't wait to see what else becomes of it. Although I don't think there's going to be just a bunch of fucking robots running around controlling everything. I just couldn't see that.
Well, Randy, I hope you're right, dude, but I like your idea of the future. Chuck Klosterman wrote this thing up about the fear of the future, but then he brought up, like, let's suppose you lived through World War I, right? And by the time you were ready to retire, you had air conditioning, something that was great, but you didn't even think about when you were younger. He goes, some of the things that we're going to love from the future, no one has even thought about, and they're going to bring comfort and fun and stuff like that. And I can't imagine, like, if you were born, let's suppose you were born in 1900, right? There you would be in the 1970s. You're sitting in an air conditioner. You're watching fucking color TV. You can fly to Hawaii, and you're like, this is fucking nuts, dude.
Everyone's
right?
driving.
But remember, anyone who was born in the 70s just thought of that as totally normal. They didn't think of it as something to celebrate.
It's weird because I just got in this conversation this weekend because I was walking around Greenwood Cemetery looking for Pokemon, and we were passing different, gravestones, and we were going through this exact same thing of somebody was born in like 1870,
right,
who lived 90 years, and then we would go through and be like, okay, so this change was made, this change, like they probably had a dishwasher in their house. Like, how insane.
They thought everything was crazy.
Yeah.
And just to remember that people born in that time, and I had a great grandmother, who would talk about the Iceman coming to the house. And even though that there were cars at the time, there would still be, the Iceman would still use a horse and stuff like that. And they said even for the milkman didn't want to get a truck because the horse would pull a fucking buggy along while he would hit 4 houses. The horse would just kind of keep walking along slow. And when he used the truck, he'd have to run back for it. It's like, this isn't fucking helping. Why does anyone think a truck is a good thing? It doesn't even fucking follow you. But yeah, those old people must have been just fucking freaking out all the time. And they saw, my great-grandmother was born before the Wright brothers flew and saw a man land on the moon in one lifetime. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, those are the types of things. The other thing we kept bringing up is communication. They were born in a time where you would have to write a letter to someone overseas and pray that it got to them in time to give them some news. And then by the time they died, they were picking up the phone. Like, we think that, using your iPhone or like Skype was weird when that happened, using video messaging. Now, like, the idea of just having instant communication was brand new.
The weird thing is people like text rather than Skype. You know what I mean? More people text than Skype. More people text than use a telephone. That's one that people wouldn't have seen coming. When a text came out, I go, why would I want that?
Yeah.
I remember it was Don who said, I'm giving all you guys Blackberries so that we can stay in contact with each other. And we were like, what? Why do I want to sit here and type with my thumb? It's too hard.
Yeah.
No one's going to type with their thumb.
The first time I got a BlackBerry, which is not even that long ago. No. It's like not that long ago.
Like 10 years ago.
I was like miserable. This idea that I could be reached by work at home. I was like, this is disgusting. They were able to get me wherever I am. And that was the beginning. I didn't have, an iPhone at that point. I just thought it was
the BlackBerry came out way before all of them.
Yeah.
BlackBerry was the first one to let you get like emails and everything else at home all the time.
Yeah, that was the big Crackberry thing. We all thought it was just madness. Look who it is, John, Chicago.
Hey, man. Hey, Ron. Tomorrow, Black Lives Matter is doing a National Day of Rage. I just wanted to urge listeners out there to keep your cool and don't do nothing stupid tomorrow.
I didn't even know about this. So they're calling it a Day of Rage?
Yeah, in 37 different cities.
Yeah, well, we kind of have one around here all the time, and they're pretty nice,
Yeah, they're usually pretty chill.
A lot of white people get in our Black Lives Matter in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens everywhere. But the other funny thing about a protest in New York, people just be walking down the street and then just join the protest. So you'll see somebody like with their shopping bags. Whose streets are streets? You're like, you're just walking home.
This is what democracy looks like.
You're just holding their little brown bag. All right, so everybody stay cool during your protest tomorrow. Have a nice protest.
Day of Rage.
Hey, Craig, what's up, buddy? Hey, Craig.
Hello, Bennington.
Craig.
Listen, this is unbelievable. The Harvard guys have made a robot out of living cells. It's called a stingray. It's 16 millimeters long, and they layered heart cells from rats onto a gold and silver scaffold. The thing calculates, swims, follows light.
Well, I heard that they're going to do these little robot things for stuff that we now use operations for, right? So it won't be that many more years.
The nanotechnology, that stuff.
That you're going to hear, like, you cut someone open just to take something out of them? You're crazy.
With a knife?
Yeah. You're going to swallow this little pill, and it's going to set loose this little metal cockroach like in The Matrix to go around and do your bidding for you, right? But even when I have my appendix out, I don't have a scar from it.
No.
Now, I remember when I was a little kid, my cousin got her appendix out, and it looked like they opened up with a can opener, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she was a little kid, and she had this nasty scar. She wore one pieces all the time. And then I didn't even, it was years later, but I had like a little tiny thing that they went in with. It's not like they cut me open.
Right.
They just put these, like, I guess, tubes or whatever. But now I live without an appendix, folks, and it's not easy. I'd like to start a Kickstarter for myself.
You're doing very well without it, though.
It doesn't feel well. I feel like
it was weighing you down before.
I feel like a freak, if I'm going to be honest.
Start a GoFundMe, too. Just get both of them going.
Okay. I'd rather just have to GoFundMe than the Kickstarter.
Both.
I'm not kicking anything, really. This is what democracy looks like. Bum, 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 dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
This is fun.
Yeah, that's great. Chris, also Bert Kreischer is going to be in Montreal. That's going to be fun.
Hell yeah.
Here's one of my favorite things up on the iBank today. It's the wasp in the car, but in slow motion. I don't know why. There's nothing funnier than seeing people freak out in slow motion.
These girls really lose their shit.
Look at the one in the back seat.
The girl in the back seat sees it first. Girl in the front seat is still just like doing her slow motion thing.
Her little faces, her little cute faces. Look. There's a bug in the car and she couldn't open her mouth bigger.
I think that would be the opposite of my reaction.
I was hoping it was going to fly in.
I love to see people freak out, though, as long as it's not actually dangerous. But just see the look of panic in slow motion is the funniest look ever.
Well, particularly when you know it's something that's not that bad.
Yeah, it's a wasp.
Like, what do you think is the scariest non-scary animal? So, like, people are afraid of certain bugs or...
Water bug really fucking is freakish because they're so large and they fly.
A spider is pretty fucking scary and it can't really hurt you. There's only a couple of spiders on the planet that can.
Spiders I'm okay with.
Really?
Unless, like, they're just on me. But if I see a spider, like...
I don't scream when I see bugs.
Yeah, but I don't particularly like any animal that just shows up on your body when you did not invite it.
But I'll say this, a mouse is much cuter than people let on, and they freak when they see mice.
I never freak out when I see them. I see mice, it doesn't bother me.
All right. What about for you, Vito?
I don't like mice.
Mice is your
mice. Yeah, they're tiny and I just don't like their little feet. And I saw.
Do you feel like they're going to run up your trunk and kill you?
Is that what it is?
No,
that was bullshit for years. I repeated that as a kid. Elephants will freak out at a mouse because they're afraid to run up their trunks.
I thought that was true.
I don't think it is. Anything that you were told was true when you're younger is a bullshit lie.
I think the roach for me is the most disgusting because I don't like the sound of them, the scuttling.
God, why did you just make that noise? That's roaches going into Chris's ass.
No!
I think mosquitoes are grosser than anything, and we don't even freak enough for them.
I never kill. I try not to kill bugs. If I find one in my house, I try to capture it. But mosquitoes, no way. To me, that's war. Like they're after you.
Yeah, they're trying to suck your blood out of you like a vampire.
But I would never kill a spider. Like if I just saw a spider, I would not kill it. I usually.
I'll wipe out a spider. I don't care. I'll just kill it just so I still want to crawl around in my house.
Here's the thing. If you have ants, they take care of that.
There's not a single ant in my apartment.
See, I live on the first floor with a garden right outside my kitchen window, so I get ants sometimes.
When I was a kid, I liked torturing bugs to get them out of my apartment.
So that, you know what that is? That's a sign of a psychopath.
Yeah, serial killer.
Yeah.
No, garbage. Bugs, not like real animals.
The bugs are real.
Yeah, they're real.
You're not trying to dispose of them. You're trying to torture them.
Yeah.
Souls.
You into S&M sex?
No.
Then you're gay.
I mean, some of it.
I don't know who this. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Ronnie, Eric in Kentucky.
Eric.
Off topic, but I just went to watch The Girls with the Wasp, and your all's clickbait on the Interrobang is extremely consistent and extremely clickbaity, and I think it's hilarious.
I enjoy most of the stuff I find on the Interrobang. It always cracks me up. There's actually even a number of articles that get passed around all the time. This stuff that has been written up on Gaffigan's show has gotten these tremendous numbers and gone everywhere. And, well, what are just some of the comedy stories on there today, Chris?
Right now, there's an interview with Brian Volk-Weiss, going through the bullshit of the representation question.
It's actually very interesting, too, especially for comics.
And then there's an exclusive clip from Joe List's new album that comes out Friday, tomorrow.
Joe List, we got to get him back on our list. He's touring around opening for Louis C.K., but remember when we met Joe, he just seemed like a nice young man? Wasn't that long ago.
No, it was.
And now he's just killing it. He's considered, a rock star.
And then there's the roast battle announcing judges and challengers in Montreal.
That's supposedly going to be very big.
It was huge last year. It was all everyone was
Gary
talking about.
Goldman is up.
For his Conan set. And the Mel Brooks releasing a tell-all for the Young Frankenstein book.
That should be cool, too. By the way, a lot of people don't even realize this. He didn't write that. That was... Gene wrote that and said, I'll do the other movie if do Young Frankenstein. So...
really? I always thought that he wrote that.
I think he might have came in and,
worked with
Mel
him.
Brooks
Yeah.
stood up. But the actual book was written by Gene. That movie is so beautiful. Physically,
Yeah.
To look at, it's just gorgeous. And you're like, yeah, he could have been a silent film star with those eyes and the shocking hair and all. All right, we got to take a break here. Who's coming in?
Our buddy Jamie LaSalle. Jamie's performing at Governor's in Belmore, New York, July 15th and 16th. Go to brokerage.govs.com for tickets.
Another guy who's got a bunch of heat on him because of that TV show.
Yeah, that's Real Rob, which season 1 is streaming now on Netflix.
Crazy. We'll be right back with our buddy Jamie LaSalle. It's The Bennington Show. It's The Bennington Show on a beautiful Thursday. Chris, who's in with us now?
Our buddy Jamie LaSalle. Jamie's performing at Governor's Comedy Club in Belmore, New York, July 15th and 16th. Go to brokerage.govs.com for tickets. And you can also see Jamie on the show Real Rob. Season 1 is streaming now on Netflix.
Jamie never overreacts if people say his name differently every time he
I don't even notice anymore.
You just let
Not
it go?
even weird to you?
Yeah.
Didn't we decide so?
I told you, did I tell you when I was on Brother Weeze, the Brother Weeze morning show for 5 years? He pronounced my name wrong the first 10 days. And every day my mom would go, he's saying, please correct him. It's our name. And so I'd go, oh, it's not LaSalle. It's Lisso. And then at 2 weeks, I was like, maybe it is LaSalle. And for 5 years, it was just wrong. And I never noticed.
Never, just let it go. Well, you were telling me on the way here, you couldn't find our building, even though you've been here a million times.
I have this issue with directions of any kind it's infuriating. And I just start panicking. I'm a little anxious anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made sure to get to the city very early. And I went in several other buildings. There's a beautiful Chase Bank next door that the studio's not in. I went to some credit union.
Yeah.
The studio's also not there.
I'm very lucky about this, or maybe it's annoying. I don't give a shit of whether I'm late or not. I know a lot of people do.
I get very anxious if I'm
Do
late.
you?
I get really bad anxiety about it.
I kind of feel like it's going to start when I get there. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's the fact that I'm not there, but I can't imagine that it started already.
That's healthy.
It seems like it's really bad.
I feel more replaceable than that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a lot of other options out there. I was already panicking, and I looked at my phone, and I had an email from Chris, which set me into just a whole new panic.
Oh, no.
At 12:58, like, hey, Derry, are you here? I was like, and I had just walked in, but I have to be on time, or
I know that there's people like that. Now, why do you email people?
I just want to make sure he's on time. That's
But
all.
he doesn't have to be on time. This is satellite radio. It's very fluid here. If you would have gotten here 15 minutes later, I'd have been glad to see you.
it says right here, it says 1 o'clock.
I know.
Not at all.
All right, let's do a thing that says
Okay.
1 o'clock to 1:15.
Got it. 1-ish.
1-ish.
All right.
One
We
ish
do
is
everything
fine.
as an ish.
All right.
You guys are awesome.
You don't worry if you're late, right?
No, I mean I've come into the morning show late multiple times.
You can't do it when we are on in the morning. He can't wake up in the morning.
Really?
Like dead people. They're
Yeah.
the same way dead people can't wake up either in the morning.
It's not even a morning show. It's a.
Well, sometimes we go in and do Opie's Friday show for him because Opie, I guess, can't get up. I don't know what happens.
So those are days he sleeps in.
But he doesn't worry. Oh, will they be there in time? No one is worried. It's satellite. Some of these people, it's not even 1 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock when they're listening. How fucking weird is that?
Freaked
Really
out
creepy.
right now.
Couldn't live like that.
It's got to be 1 o'clock.
All right, they're listening and it's 10 o'clock, but here's the deal. We haven't even got here yet. We're not even getting here.
Oh,
till
shit.
12. Yeah.
I'm at some building on 55th still. Just wondering where it is.
So you're just running around in a mad dash.
And no one, no matter what they look like, I'm always amazed in New York how I forget there can be a man perfectly dressed outside of a building, a doorman, mostly, that doesn't know where this building is, just doesn't know much.
Well, some people, like we all work, all of our people are hired by the Rockefeller Center people, right? So we're technically part of Rockefeller Center.
Yes, we are.
Which is weird because it's at least 600 yards from here.
Yeah. It's a block.
Maybe even more. Yeah. It's a full block.
I was over there too.
Were you?
I was. That's when I felt like I'd really found it.
Yeah.
And I hadn't. That was the false summit.
Now, you have a little thing on your phone that'll tell you how to get places.
I put it into the Apple Maps.
Yeah.
And it took me to the completely wrong place. 1335 Avenue of the Americas, which you guys aren't there yet.
No, we're 21.
1221.
1221. Yeah. Now, I was using it when I was up in New England, and it took me, I'm driving along, and it gives me a faster route, right? And it took me through a neighborhood that looked like The Fighter was filmed at, Mark Wahlberg's, where it was the meanest looking white people I've ever seen. And I actually said this statement, I go, aren't these people supposed to be black? That's how weird. If it was like one of the few white neighborhoods I've ever been in outside the South, where I felt nervous.
Wow.
Like these white people might start just hitting my car.
I have a thing on my phone. It knows I have 3 kids, and it gives me the slowest route home. It takes me a long way.
There should be a way that you'd never have to hit a Carvel. So at what direction is there no ice cream whatsoever?
The Google Maps update, where now it's giving you the updated fastest route. They're like, now there's an alternative route 5 minutes faster. Oh no, there's an accident. Go this way. It's 7. It's constantly talking to you. And I blame the other app for that. What's the other?
Waze?
Waze.
Waves is the
Waze.
one.
It never stops talking to you. So now Google Maps doesn't stop talking
But
to
I
you.
feel like the Waze will tell you that there's a cop nearby.
Really?
Like there's a cop. Yeah, they'll say there's a cop.
It says there's a cop. They'll say if there's a pothole, if there's a traffic, a speed. What is that camera? What is that?
Like a red light camera?
Red light camera.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I call them speed fuckers because I just feel like that's cheating. That's turning robots against us.
Have you gotten? I got one of those in Queens, and they sent me a thing in the mail. And I remember I had gone through. There's a truck in the way, and I couldn't see. And I sort of remember going through this light, but it sends it to you a month later. And I open it up, and I'm like, "There's no. How are they going to prove?" Like I open it up as a piece of paper that said you have a red light, ticket. And then there was a picture of my car, but it was like really far away. And I go, they can't prove that I'm the one driving this.
Right.
And I turn to the next page, and it's literally, I could have used it as an 8x10 headshot for comedy. It was this beautiful picture of me driving, like a close up. It should have just had my name in the corner. I was like, all right, that's pretty good, guys.
They catch us singing "Don't Worry, Baby" as you're blasting through. Don't worry. That's the problem. If you don't want us to speed, no songs. But this is, and I saw this on my vacation too. It said if you didn't have the little card, right, to just drive the Easy Pass, that they would just mail you the toll. There wasn't any toll people. And the whole Tappan Zee Bridge is going to be that way, where there's no toll people. You either use your Easy Pass or they take a picture and they mail you your toll price.
Because in Texas they do that, and there is no penalty. It's the same price. I thought, oh man, I'm going to get hit with $25. They literally go, hey, we need your. Here it's more. We need your $9 or $7. Kind of nice.
What is it to get in the city now? Like $16 or something crazy?
Yeah, and then there's the Staten Island Bridge, which is like 18 or 20.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's well worth it. I mean, that's one of the best views in America.
Yeah, the Verrazano is just like
the Verrazano. You're overlooking the whole thing, and a lot of times I'll just forget I'm driving. It's just gorgeous.
It wasn't until like only a couple years ago I realized, because normally when you're driving over the Verrazano, you're looking at the city. But if you look the other direction, you can see Coney Island. If it's at night, you can see the Wonder Wheel lit up. You can see on the other direction.
I have never looked to my left.
Yep.
And I've been over that bridge 50 times.
Yeah. Just out the other window, you have like this perfect view of this like little glowing boardwalk.
I was on that bridge years ago. And I was hanging off at me and these disco dancers I used to hang around with.
Okay.
And there's one guy with big shoes. He fell off. See, he had gotten a girl pregnant and he was depressed.
Jesus, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's a sad story.
God.
Well, it was okay because later I rode around on a train and then I moved to Manhattan. I was listening to How Deep Is Your Love the entire time.
Great.
Did you ever make it to Broadway?
Years later, and not nearly as entertaining. Stallone was the director. That might be the Saturday Night Fever 2 might be the worst.
Staying Alive.
Yeah, Staying Alive is the name of it. Because it has nothing to do with the first one at all. He might as well become a fighter pilot.
It's crazy, and the fucking play or musical he's part of is insane. It's like the devil or something. There's this fucking demon.
But here's the thing: dancing in a disco doesn't lead you to be a Broadway dancer. It's a completely different style.
It's a different style. It's a different lifestyle. There's discipline with a Broadway dancer.
You don't go out late and do speed with Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, he was just trying to be like a scenester.
Right.
I thought disco, was more of a hobby.
Yeah,
he did get a trophy for it, and I believe $100 that he went and gave to that Puerto Rican couple and told them that they deserved it. Because it was, it was like the voting was stacked against him, much like they're trying to do to Trump right now. Do you think they're down to 2 or 3? Tomorrow's the announcement.
I believe it's between Christie and Pence. I think Newt's out.
No, Newt isn't out.
He's not out. Alt.
Or MSNBC saying Newt's still in.
Yes, everyone is saying it, but
only you.
You're the only person. After last night, and I was just talking about this with Jamie, I'm ready to give it to Gary Goldman. I think,
wow.
I think his rating is up and above everybody else's. Jamie just went back and had his special canceled and took 2 albums off.
It's almost not even far from the truth. He's so good. He's one of those guys where I was enjoying it, and then just hating myself.
Right.
Like literally wondering how we can be in the same business, stand-up comedy. And Gary Goldman does this It's mad. It's just, I don't know what you even call it. It's genius.
It's seriously, it's like playwriting. It's like a little performance that takes place on a whole nother level. There's a thing up on the iBang of him doing it last night, but the fact that it is not the Conan show why this is happening. It's a whole separate show that takes place. It's really, really terrific. Now, the great thing is, and this should make you feel better, is he normally feels bad the rest of his life. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't bring him any happiness.
I'm not that good of a comic, but I have these kids that make me feel great inside on the off time.
Good. See?
They don't know yet. That's why. How old are your kids?
I may be a 4 out of 10 in comedy, but I'm a 9 out of 10 father. I have a 7-year-old boy, a 5-year-old girl, and a 1-year-old boy. Yeah.
I was just talking to Robert Kelly about this, and he was saying that he wants to do something about fatherhood because he thinks he's a great dad. And I go, well, you're not done yet. You can't make that decision. You know what I mean? Everybody's a great dad of a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
But when they're 15, and you're finding dead animals in the backyard that have been tortured.
And you're right. I feel like till 8, if you look around, you can't feel that good about being a dad because every kid loves their dad, no matter what they're doing. It's your dad's your hero till 7, no matter what you do, basically.
And then they go, wait, any dude could do this.
Yeah.
Okay, you open pickles. All right, that's not super strength. You honestly think that your dad can beat everyone up when you're a little kid? Well, in your case, Gail, you were right. I did, but then I stopped. But that's it. Well, Chris, your dad was a junkie, right?
Yeah, he was a bad man.
And a thief?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like to steal things.
And a hustler?
Oh, yeah, straight up.
So at what point did it occur to you?
All right. It was probably sometime between like 8 and like 12. I can't pin it down. Probably on the earlier side when he disappeared for a few days. And then my mom's like, he went to go to the hospital. He's sick. And then I realized... Then I heard them when he got back. It's like, no, he was in jail for beating up an undercover cop.
Okay,
he didn't know. Guy didn't have his clothes on.
That was his.
I made that same exact statement to the Philadelphia police when they were teasing me about selling drugs to a police officer. I go, he wasn't in uniform. He's wearing a Flyers jersey. Fuck you. Exactly.
That's not your
put
fault.
him in uniform. I don't even approach them. Show Jamie a picture of your dad, though. He keeps.
I'll bring it so.
That's kind of nice. They got a picture of his dad on his phone.
It's really sweet. It's so
I should have
sweet
my
that he
dad
does.
in his Navy uniform.
Is he holding a number? Oh, no. Oh, he is. Is that your dad?
Yeah.
He's a cool looking dude. There.
Yeah, he is. He's very, very cool.
He is.
He looks like a dude. Let's see.
I feel like we're looking at a rock star. Like a.
Yeah,
I know.
there's something very sexy about
it's
him.
very Jim Morrison, and like you can see that he's related to Chris.
Yeah, same eyes.
And same inability to really grow sideburns. You know what I mean?
Patchy, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a dominant gene.
It's a patchiness. Who sent that to you, Chris?
It's a patch. I found the picture. I found the picture like when I was cleaning out my parents' stuff, and then I took a picture of it because it was just I just found it and then like the his release papers from when he got arrested that time.
That's nice. What was he arrested for?
I believe it was assault and battery.
Okay.
Or breaking and entering, one of the two. But he got off on it.
Hey, Warriors!
A lot of times, if you break and enter and there's somebody in there, you got to assault and battery. What are you going to do?
That's true. It's kind of like they start the assault,
right?
And then you've got to start battery. Plug away, Chris.
Jamie LaSalle's in studio. Jamie LaSalle is in studio. Jamie will be performing at Governor's Comedy Club in Belmore, New York.
I hate to further correct you.
Yes.
I'm actually at the Brokerage Comedy Club.
The Brokerage.
Governor's is also very nice.
Yeah.
Brokerage.
You know who's over there? Jamie LaSalle.
Your doppelganger.
Jamie LaSalle.
No. Lisso.
Jamie LaSalle is performing at Brokerage in Belmore, New York, July 15th and 16th. Go to brokerage.govs.com for tickets. And you can see Jamie on Real Rob, streaming now on Netflix.
Which is fantastic, dude. Congratulations for that.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're writing, you're acting, you're living that dream. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You want to be able to write and act on something.
The neatest thing about it is literally, I've written so many things that no one will ever see. like, you write a movie or something and it's in a drawer, you don't sell it. And this thing, we sit there and we go, wow, this better be good because we're filming it August 29th. So you literally, it's so cool knowing whatever you write, you will film. Like if I write this actor's name or this, I go, he's got to come. We have to get him.
We got to get that guy.
This is real.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's a lot of, it's hard and stressful and stuff, but it's awesome.
Yeah, because you start to run out of ideas. All your original ideas you've used up already.
Yeah, like in 97.
Yeah. So you had all these ideas, but it's based on his life, right?
Which is the greatest thing, that it's based on Rob Schneider's life, because he has so many cool stories. All you have to really do is just talk to him or, mine his life for the next story idea. Or, I hang out with him a lot, which is a lot of the writing process, where in one day, usually there's one story idea that comes out unintentionally when they're just
So you're
hanging out.
listening, and he'll tell like a funny story, and you're like, yeah, go.
Yeah.
Go. And then what are you, locked out? Is that it? You're locked out of the place?
Is there any way it could have ended funnier, your story?
And was your wife angry with you? She's gotten a lot of pop off that too, right?
Yeah, she's doing great.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider's wife was a producer in Mexico for a while, then she hosted a TV show there, and yeah, she's really grown. It was her first acting gig ever, and you can kind of see us if you watch season 1. It was an independently produced thing. You can see us getting better, I think, because episode 1 it was just such a crazy experience that we were all doing 3 or 4 different things. So by 2 or 3 we start to gel a little more. In season 2 we really pick up where we left off, I think.
Yeah, that happens with the best of shows. Like you can even look back to the original Seinfeld and like, oh, okay, Kramer didn't have it worked out yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was still like that Kramer from Fridays, right? He was like, what? He was like that. He wasn't acting like the hipster doofus. Right. It takes a couple years before they decided this is exactly who Kramer is.
Yeah, I remember watching Friends, and there's an episode way in the beginning where Joey tries to bang Monica and takes all his clothes off, and you're like, these friends would never do that, but they didn't have their characters figured out yet.
It's like
so crazy.
Really crossed a line with her.
Yeah. And then how do you get back that date rape? How do you recover from that?
Joey, did you send me a dick pic?
Actually, that's a pretty good episode. I wouldn't unintentionally.
Yeah,
he sends it.
Perfect.
If Friends was taped today, which by the way, it still would probably be a top 10 show.
Yeah,
the way people watch it every night.
Everybody would be meeting their dates on Tinder because they always had there was always a new boyfriend or girlfriend. Somebody
That's a
was,
good point.
Yeah,
they'd all be looking at Tinder together, like pick her, Joey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, the weird thing is when that show came out and even Seinfeld came out, no one hung out in diners and coffee shops. We used to hang out in bars, right?
Right.
And you would be getting fucking plastered. And now everyone does it, and I think it's because of those 2 shows. They're like, oh, let's all just meet there instead of at my house. You're like,
it's really interesting.
There's no beer there.
I was in a diner last night. You're right. Just hanging out.
And why did they do that? Just well lit?
Well, I guess I don't know.
Could be a noise, noise and
right, exactly. So this way it didn't
Well, it also would have been shows about alcoholics where people are like, these guys are in a bar all the time.
I think it really bothers me as a New Yorker because, obviously when the show came out, I wasn't living here yet. But then as a New Yorker watching the fact that they get the same fucking couch every episode, you're like, no fucking way. You have a favorite seat in your coffee shop. You never get that. They'd be standing in a corner awkwardly with their coffee. I think they're getting up. I don't know. Let's just wait.
Or it would be 2 of them and plus some other person they don't know sitting there.
Fucking random.
But even out front, after we got up from our table, there was a dude sitting at our table within 8 seconds today.
Yeah.
He just flew in. We're still clearing our stuff. And he's this is going to be my table.
And I didn't even notice any hovering. It was just he'd been watching it.
That dude was fucking great. Now, 2 days ago, because we normally sit out front where there's tables, you probably didn't see him. You were panicking, running around looking. But so we were sitting out there, and Chris, you were talking about our intern, right?
Yeah.
And you yelled out, what?
He has the cleanest fucking sneakers I've seen in my entire life.
So he screams out, he has the cleanest fucking sneakers I've ever seen in my life. Some man who was having a meltdown, I'm going to say 360-pound black dude.
Huge dude.
Who had a, shoulder satchel with him, was wearing a white shirt with a coat, tie, had taken them all off, and was just sitting there in a fucking wife beater, and he looked like he was having a meltdown, like maybe he had been fired.
360?
Yeah,
that's
360.
That's a full circle.
Yeah, that's a yeah. And he was moving his head around.
Pounds and degrees above.
He hears him yell that, and he takes it personal. And it also seemed like he had Tourette's.
Yeah, because all right, so I say that, and then like I hear, I didn't see him. You did.
Yeah.
I hear just out of the corner, or the left side, suck my fucking dick.
Yeah.
Like just, and then that's what he kept saying.
He kept saying it over and over.
Over and over. Suck my dick. Suck my fucking dick. But the problem was his eyes were locked on me.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, he said it.
Yeah.
I don't know where there was confusion.
Yeah.
But his eyes were locked on me the entire time saying that angrily.
That couldn't
Not
have
a
ever
nice
worked.
request.
Oh my
Angrily demanding it, so.
Yeah. Chris, I was almost saying, Chris, I think you should go over and suck.
Just to shut him up.
Yeah.
Please.
Sure.
Because
For all of us, because we're not going to do it.
there's nothing worse in New York when the business guy loses his shit, right? I mean, we're used to like regular crazy people, and you're like, that's part of living here. But when an industry, when a business guy melts down, everything, his reality is broken. It's a really fucking scary dude.
It's like falling down. Is this going to become falling down?
It's Falling Down. The movie Falling Down. If Michael Douglas was a 360-pound bald black guy.
Exactly. What was in his bag? Probably just an orange.
So we waited an appropriate time before we said, let's head off. You know what I mean? We didn't want to act like, but even if you're like, oh, it was one of those things that we would have had to choke him to death before it would have been over. It wouldn't just never have stopped.
But you know what? When you get a nice table and it's
You're
nice
right.
weather, we were like really trying to stay out there. Like he might leave because we are enjoying ourselves. But you're right. When you don't expect, it's like when the look does not match the crazy behavior, it's always really jarring. And it happens constantly in the city. People who talk to themselves, people who like seem like they're, just like anybody else on the train. And I had this happen, just a couple days ago, sitting on the train. Somebody's just freaking out. And you know how it is, like everyone just kind of sits there and you're like, you kind of keep half an eye on them, but you're not going to move. I don't know why. This is like, we're just used to it, but you're just kind of like, okay, let's keep this in check. Make sure this guy doesn't lunge at anybody. And then this woman gets on the train and sits right next to him. So you can feel everyone being like, oh, she doesn't know he's not crazy. And then he starts like yelling and she takes out her earbud and she's like, excuse me? And we're going like, dog. And then like immediately her eyes just get really big and I can't hear because now he's whispering stuff to her and she just like gets up really slowly. I'm sorry, what's that? What'd you say to me? No, don't get in a conversation with this dude.
That is, that's just the cost of doing business here. You're just going to run into crazy people.
And there's just mild craziness too. Like there's a lot of people who just talk to themselves on the street. It's very...
I saw a famous actor doing it.
Really?
Yeah. I'll just say he's from the Christopher Guest movies.
Oh.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
You know what's kind of awesome about New York being crazy people? Yesterday, I had this big piece of luggage because I had flown in from Newark, and I wanted to change into these jeans, and I was trying to find a place to change, and I was like, if I just change my pants, no one will even look. And I just quickly changed my pants, and when I was doing the least crazy thing in the street, no one even looked. No one even cared. I opened my big suitcase and just changed into jogging pants. Didn't even matter. Like, this is pretty awesome.
The problem is if you get used to that kind of thing and then you go other places. Hey, you're in New York. You can just change anywhere. What's the problem?
Kids.
That's the weirdest thing, that if you get used to living here, it doesn't prepare you for anywhere else. You tend to snap at people, and you know what I mean? You stand of taking. Well, I remember when I first came to New York. I'm on the Upper East Side, and I come into like this little bodega thing. I'm going to get a tea, and Spike Lee is there, and I'm like, holy shit. This isn't like I'm in a fucking theater. I'm in a bodega. Spike Lee's here. And I see him walking up, and the guy goes like this. Hey, Spike, there's a line. And Spike's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he goes, stand in line. I go, anywhere else in America, we would have been thrilled to see Spike Lee go and do anything. And now this guy's like, please, no upsies.
Spike, you got to play by the rules. Sorry.
It's true. That's that weird thing that people get to say like, oh no, it's my turn. I want this. I'm supposed to be here. And it's why the rest of the country thinks all of us, when we leave here, are Jews. You know what I mean? They're like, what are you, a Jew? And you're like, no. I just live with them. And I've adapted to this.
The chosen people are my chosen people.
Hey, we were talking about Emmy Award nominations came out today. Louis Anderson nominated for Baskets.
Perfect.
Unbelievable.
He's so great on that.
So great.
That was like the most fantastic role for him. I cannot believe how incredible he was at it.
Nominated as a woman, too, which is wonderful.
No.
But he's literally got the same of equipment as Caitlyn. You know what I mean? Like he and Caitlyn just both put on a wig.
And he's more believable.
He honestly is more believable.
I heard about that show from you guys mentioning Louis on that show, and I started watching it. Unbelievable.
Yeah. There's a lot of good shows on right now. Gaffigan's got an amazing show. Robert Kelly is crazy good on sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's so weird when you see comics. You're like, oh, fuck, he's a really good actor. He's just not a guy that we know.
Robert Kelly's a great actor,
he's
man.
amazing.
He's great in Louis.
Yeah, he's on this show. He's like a little heartbreaking. Like when people are saying mean things, even to each other, he gets this face on. It's just like the saddest thing you've ever seen. And he goes like, "I thought we were a family." And you're just like, "Please come back and fix Bobby." Liz says that we've done several torturing animal references, and it said, "Still watching American Gothic." Yeah, I'm still watching that horrible fucking show. Isn't that terrible when you get into a summer show and you're stuck? Although big vote out tonight, right?
Big giant vote out on Big Brother. Last night the feeds were off, and that kind of pissed me off because I wanted to see what was going on in the house at fucking 9 o'clock at night.
I can't even stand the hour I watched last night. I was mad at myself. And that was the actual TV show.
Yeah.
Why would you want to watch the unedited?
I don't know, but I just do. I just put them on and leave them on in my
What's
house.
it cost you?
$6 a month for 24 hours of entertainment a day.
Oh, is that the After Dark?
Yeah, no,
this is the
watch it on
live
a computer.
feeds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is, just what's going on. They're like making food. They're usually talking about the game 99% of the time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Plotting constantly.
You know who doesn't watch any of that is Julie Chen. She barely
She has
understands
no
how the
idea.
game's played. I was like, if this was Monday Night Football and you had the play-by-play person asking why people throw the ball.
She's like, and this is Bronte? Is that a name? What is this?
Who are you?
That can't be real.
Yeah, it's between Tiffany and Bronte. From what I've heard, because they're up all night hours of the night, looks like Bronte's going out. As of right now at 5-4, Bronte.
Bridget fucked up.
Who's the swing vote, though?
I believe James might be the swing vote.
Yeah, so be careful on that.
Yeah.
Because one thing I know about that show, they fucking lean whatever way they're leaning, it's going in the other direction.
I know. See, Jamie, you can watch whatever you want at all
Wow.
times.
Turn up the volume so we can hear what they're saying.
Okay, I'll upload to Frank, because if I turn that one up, I'll hear it.
I'm usually hyped enough,
So she can't vent.
Just dirty them all up.
No, I'm hide them.
Is this happening right now?
Yeah.
No, if you better dirt, that'll piss her off more.
Just make them dirty.
Dirty.
I'll make a concoction and freeze all of the tools inside.
God, this seems like the most boring thing in the world.
This is what Chris does for hours at a time.
Fucked up.
You know what's weird? Because they do so many more things that they're never outside now.
Yeah, it's constant lockdowns.
They used to just lay around the pool.
Which
and
is
you're like, life is good.
I know, and you can see that they get really weird in there.
I would get weird.
because you're already cut off from the world, and then now they're saying now you're inside for 12 hours today.
It's
as
like
well.
being in a plane all the time.
With kind of a bunch of like maniacs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and half of them aren't even eating real food. I mean, I don't know how that does. More people don't snap when they're on the
when you're
slop.
losing your protein.
Yeah.
I like the show because somebody loses a bunch of weight and someone gains an amazing amount of weight. Someone you'll just see does like put on 30 pounds.
Okay, here's a weird observation that I made. on Big Brother, have you noticed that every season there's like 1 to 3 people who are really into wearing headbands, like sweat at their, like at the exact spot. Okay, so there Frank is wearing it. Tiffany also wears it, and James. So there's 3 people in the house who are always wearing it. And I feel like you don't see people doing that on the street that much. Look at even
Paul has one on.
Paul has one on. It's not that common, and yet always on Big Brother, they're really into wearing headbands and sweatbands. Why?
I see it a lot because I hang out with Loverboy. But but you are right. I don't know the last time. Well, Chris, you wore one today during your running, right?
Yeah, when I was working out this morning.
Chris is training. He's gotten an opportunity to be the place kicker for the New York Football Giants.
Unbelievable.
And
2 weeks is when training camp starts.
You haven't kicked in years. And am I wrong that you're heavier than you were 18 years ago?
Yeah, I've gained a few pounds. But that's why I'm running a 5K every morning.
How much would you say you gained in 18 years?
I've probably gained about 100 pounds in 18 years.
That's going to change the way you play the game.
I know. But I feel like it adds more power to the kicking leg.
There's no doubt. You've got a lot more behind you now.
Yeah, I mean, look, this leg's been holding it up all these
Well, you
years.
got the leg and then you got the cheese. I mean, your ass is...
Oh, yeah.
Is a place that you're going to explode. Ass and... But you keep the knee locked. I know you've had trouble with it before.
Well, yeah, I had a partial MCL tear a couple years ago. That's cleared up, though. My orthopedist...
Are you coming off on your left foot? Are you using the toe or the ball of your foot?
I'm using the toe.
See, I would have went ball with my foot.
I can't believe Chris has an orthopedist, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, he needs one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm an athlete.
There isn't a specialist that he doesn't have. For a young man, as you explained to us.
Yes.
His body
Young buck.
has been through quite a bit. Replaced shoulders,
Yeah,
knees,
replaced knee, yeah.
ankle.
Yeah, the ankle was all fucked up.
Wow.
He has a lot of problems.
Had a neurologist for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your headband thing's freaking me out now.
I am thinking about it a lot too now, and I've never noticed it.
I have to admit, I do see a lot of them. I also hang out with a lot of children that just saw the Globetrotters.
Oh, sure.
But there's a lot of them wear it.
But like, did it start with Big Brother, or was it like maybe it's a Survivor thing? Like they feel like I'm on a reality show.
Look, I'm new to the theory. I can't go as deep as you're able to go.
I'm never not thinking about this shit.
Oh, Dr. Will. Dr. Will always wore the giant
You think
thing.
Dr. Will started
Dr.
it?
Will always wore that giant thing because his hair got so puffy.
If you're going to emulate anybody, it should be Dr. Will, though.
I
He's
know.
the doctor,
I mean, he was probably the greatest player of the game, correct?
I believe. A lot of people go with that guy from a couple years ago.
Derek.
No, not Derek.
Dan.
Who?
Dan.
Dan, yeah. Derek won one season.
Derek was good, though.
Oh,
Was
no.
Dr. Will the plastic surgeon?
Yeah.
Well,
Dermatologist.
Oh, he was a dermatologist.
yeah, he's a dermatologist, and I believe a very famous one in Beverly Hills, California.
Yeah, he
I have a
was
signed
Dr.
picture of him in my home.
Why?
Really?
My wife is a huge Big Brother fan, and I ran into some comedian, Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, yeah.
You know Theo Vaughn? I was talking to him about Big Brother, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm buddies with." Because he used to do all the reality stuff, Theo did. And I go, dude, my wife would go nuts if you... And now that you're saying dermatologist, he sent my wife this cool package, him in a lab coat, signed with with some skin products and stuff, still up in my house.
This is great.
He invented something, I don't know what it was, something that had never been done before, whether it was a cream or I think it's zit remover, something that was very
Chemical
important.
peel.
Yeah, it's a chemical peel. But, he's also came up with a thing for tattoo removal.
Wow.
That has made him
Really?
quite the fortune.
Damn,
Yeah.
Dr. Will.
Yeah, he's not a dumb guy.
Genius.
But since your wife is so into Big Brother, I can get her on a text chain that seems like it goes around the clock.
Yeah.
Because these
Nonstop.
guys are thinking and talking about it constantly.
It's too much, probably, but it's happening.
think?
Yeah, I think too much.
You know when you share Google calendars, you see when someone else puts an update in there. You know? Like I'll put in I booked this flight, whatever, and I'll get them from her, and it'll say one of our kids' dentist appointment. Then it'll say live Big Brother nominations. Like that's what my calendar says. Reminders of these Big
You
Brother
should be hanging
episodes.
out with us.
You know what else Dr. Will started? The term showmance.
Wow.
I didn't know
believe
that.
He was the one who came up with showmance, which they're still using today.
Now, does anybody who remember who came up with backdoor? The term backdoor.
I know who the first person backdoored was.
Who's that?
Jace.
All right, now, who was that season? I'll give you a hint. It was a girl.
Oh, Janelle.
Janelle.
No,
That season?
Not Chanel, though.
the one who came in second, or did she win?
No, she came in probably about fourth. It was Cowboy's sister, like Tacomba or something like that. She made up her own crazy name. And she said, well, what if we did this instead? And I remember everyone was just sitting around. And she goes, and that way we can backdoor. And everyone's like, please repeat what you mean. How would that work? And now it's just the standard part of the show.
Like, backdoor.
This is like someone coming up with a double play. This is like someone said, instead of just me touching second, what if the play doesn't end there? And I just throw it to first. But she is, and now they even attempt to use it on other shows, you know? But this show is like a game of chess that takes place. But for people, then they'll put half the people who have never played chess. Some of these people, like the Puerto Rican guy who went out this week, is a moron. I mean, he shouldn't have been in there.
That guy was so Victor was so fucking dumb.
Yeah,
I hated him. I hate all of them, except Frank for some reason.
Oh,
Frank is disgusting.
I find myself rooting for Frank.
Frank is the Chris of that fucking thing.
Because of the sexual assaults?
Yeah, he's touching people's asses and crotches.
That's so you.
I do have a blue bandana. I was wearing that this morning.
Yeah, you were.
That's why you were wearing it, isn't it?
I love Frank.
How far did you run this morning?
5K, 28 minutes, 5 seconds.
I will.
First time done.
I'll tell you right now.
Ever.
I'll give you $100 right now if you can run 1 mile in 28 minutes. I'm not saying you're a liar.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's easy money for me.
Look, I couldn't do it. I'm tired from this morning, and my legs are sore. Vito was keeping the timer. He fucking knows it's all in the up and up.
28 minutes.
No, did you see him the whole time? I'm gonna just ask this: was there a single cab?
He took an Uber.
From my knowledge, there was no cab. I was under the waterfall waiting at the finish line for him.
What were those shorts you were wearing too?
There's some shorts I got from JCPenney. That's all.
They were so long.
Yeah,
they were so long and baggy.
It's not good for running, is it?
No, it's great for running.
They could officially be called pants.
This is the only workout clothes I have. That
By
white
the way,
t-shirt.
Jamie's freezing in here.
Oh, I'm okay.
No, you're right in the blast.
What happened was I went from a cold sweat into the coolness because I was so nervous.
Well, you were lost. Now, who were you on the phone with then?
I was talking to Gary Goldman.
Why didn't he tuck you in? He knows how to get here.
I hung up right before I tried to find it.
Did he think he had a good set last night?
Just panicked.
Or was he like, I don't know?
He's very modest.
It's terrible how modest he is.
Yeah.
And another thing, he kind of lets on that he's not attractive. And we're like,
come on.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
He said to say thank you for all the love, and he loves you guys.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out of here, you.
Just go.
I love his football career that, he really just had the one practice till he got rocked. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to play football. Everything hurts right now. But when he was in high school, he was a great athlete.
Yeah, I did some weeks with him. He brought me along as his feature for a while, and I just spent my days just jealous of everything about him.
Everything.
It was just after shows, even just watching the, girls come up to him and I remember thinking that it was about being a headliner. I remember being like, oh man, someday when I headline, I was like, oh no, it's because he's a better looking.
Yeah, it doesn't happen to most headliners. Most headliners get crazy girls, but not those kind of model looking girls.
Was not related to going last whatsoever.
Like, Gary's done so well with women that he's kind of done with white women at this point. He's like, I've done it. I've had it. There's other times.
What am I going to have another?
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Me and my wife, when she wasn't my wife yet, went to Hawaii with Gary and his girlfriend at the time on a little vacation. I think we were doing some shows. They had an improv in Honolulu or something.
Yeah.
And I remember he's just such a funny dude. And we went kayaking. Whatever it is, with two of us, a double kayak where there's the two of you in a kayak. And he told me that after we kayaked, because he looked back And me and my wife, he said, you guys were like a crew team, like just synced up. He goes, I knew your relationship was going to be.
Wow.
He said he knew by how, and we look at them and are spinning around. And he goes, I was just like, this is fucking doomed. Just by the way they kayaked.
Yeah.
He knew that it was so out of sync. They weren't going to make
great.
it.
I mean, that would be a perfect thing for a movie, right?
They were yelling at each other.
Yeah, it's a date night in a movie.
There was an oar in the water at one time, and they were going to get it. Like, all this stuff was going on.
Jamie LaSalle is in studio. Jamie's performing at the Brokerage in Belmore, New York on July 15th and 16th. Go to brokerage.govs.com for tickets. And you can see Jamie on the show Real Rob, which is streaming now on Netflix.
And as we talk, second season.
Second season. It's happening.
I remember when it was just an idea. An idea that you weren't even sure was going to happen.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know if I want to talk about this, but it could happen. Now it's a life changer.
Yeah, and because season 1 was, you know, like not sold when we made it.
Yeah.
There were literally 5 different times when during production, actual filming, it could have all fallen apart.
Yeah.
Like 5 different times where things happened and we could have never made it. And then when you finish it, you got to hope somebody wants it. And then,
right.
And Netflix it was our favorite place because they took it for US and all, you know, I think it's 100 countries. So you don't have to go try to, you know, sell it all over. We're super happy to be there.
Ron Funches is coming in. You want to hang for that or you got to go or what do you want to do?
I'd love to if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, do you know Ron?
I don't. I know him from, he's on Midnight a lot. I'm a fan, but we've never met.
Well, he also had his other show last year. Undateable.
Oh, yeah, great.
Which they did live.
With Dalia.
They did live the whole time. So you want to bring him in now, Chris?
Yeah, we can bring him in now, yeah. Ron Funches is performing tonight through Saturday at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City. Go to carolines.com for tickets, and on Twitter, it's at Ron Funches.
That's, to me, he's also one of my favorite comics out there. Here he comes into the room. Ron Funches, good to see you again, buddy.
That's Ron Funches. Yeah, again, he'll be at Caroline's Comedy Club tonight. Go to carolines.com for all your tickets.
Good to see you again.
And on Twitter, at Ron Funches.
Ron, this is the comedian Jamie LaSalle. Nice to meet you. Jamie, you're playing Governors. Where are you playing tonight, Ron?
I'm playing at Caroline's.
Beautiful Caroline's Comedy Club in Manhattan. Mm-hmm. Good to see you, my friend.
It's good to be here.
How's everything going with your life right now?
It's going pretty good. No complaints, really. Just working on a lot of stand-up ups. I don't need this, right? No one else is wearing it. Now that I've looked around.
Well, when I put headphones on, everyone else sounds normal, and then I sound terrible. And I'm like, I don't want to know reality. You know what I mean? To me, putting on headphones is if you had to carry a mirror around with you all the time.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Now you have a unique voice as well.
Yes.
Do you like it?
I like it more and more now. I mean, I never hated it. It's just like, this is my voice and this is what I sound like. And then, you know, when I was younger, more people made fun of it and stuff. And now, like, they're like, hey, we should put you in cartoons. So I love it. So I'm into it.
Yeah. What cartoons?
I'm doing a Netflix cartoon series based off this movie called Home. And then I'm in the Trolls movie with Justin Timberlake, come out in November. And then I've just been doing random things. Like I did a little Adventure Time and did some BoJack Horseman, just random ones.
Those are the fun. Gail used to work in the gaming thing, so all that is voiceover.
Yeah, so I worked at Rockstar Games, and it was like motion capture and voiceover, so I used to do casting for them, and it's a blast.
I got booked in a couple parts, and all I ever do is gruff guy. I'm just like, hey, get off there. You know, that's my character.
You nailed it.
Yes, and that's what they said. That's good enough. And then I could never find myself in the game.
I had 2 reoccurring roles of either woman in peril or small boy.
Okay.
Small boy.
Let's hear your woman in peril.
I'm just like, oh my God, no! There's a lot of women in peril.
Small boy. Rockstar Games, a lot of, especially Red Dead Redemption, which is my favorite.
I'm in that.
Yeah.
I'm in that as well, and you'll just hear, if there's some gruff guy who's saying, stop hitting me.
Okay,
that's my
I can't
role.
wait. I just started replaying it yesterday. So
I'm the first voice that you hear in Red Dead Redemption.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I'm a paper boy. So as the game is beginning, it's like a cutscene. The opening scene, you can hear me going, extra, extra, read read all about it. Sounds a little bit like a Bart Simpson thing, which that was not my intention.
That's awesome.
So everyone was kind of laughing, saying, Bart Simpson selling newspapers.
Chris, he needs the Wi-Fi hooked up.
Yeah, please.
Jamie, have you ever done any voiceover stuff at all? Or
I did one little thing. I did, and I think they recast me. I helped write a thing.
Yeah.
And to be nice, they gave me a part without properly auditioning me.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be this tourist. And when I got there, they were like, yeah, so just do this accent. And I was like, I just talk like myself. And they wanted me to do an accent. It was a rough day in the sound thing. And then when I went to see the movie, it seemed like it was a different guy.
Yeah,
that happened there with that too, though. Before
Yeah.
I had people, and especially when they don't know you at all, and then they get me, and then they were like, "Oh, could you?" And they don't, and they're like, "Could you kind of sound a little more urban?" And I'm like, "Oh, you just should have known who you got.
Yeah.
You got the wrong guy."
That's what they did with me. They were like, we want to hear it with like the sound of your car driving away in the background. We'd like you to leave.
I got paid to do a radio commercial before I even started doing radio, and they didn't use me, but they paid me, and I was so excited leaving there because it was a terrible thing of them asking me to read it over and over, and then I was leaving with $500. I'm like, this is amazing. I got to book another one.
Well, that's why voiceover is such a good gig because I think they're the best paid actors when it comes to the actual time that you spend doing it versus like what you are paid for your hour.
Right.
So it's a sweet gig to land, whether it's and then if for commercial it's great because you get the plays and that like if it ends up being a national commercial, it's like a big deal.
But audio is so much better than visual. Visual causes so many troubles. You know what I mean? Is the lighting right? Or we got the right angle, blah, blah, blah. When you do any kind of voice work, you walk in, there's a microphone, you say it. Nothing stops when they tell you to, hey, or try it this way. Nothing else has to be adjusted.
Yeah, they're never like, you're wearing the wrong shirt.
Yeah, everything is
that's
so...
the best part. You just show up. If you got it down, you can get out of there in like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And you go on with your day. It's great. It's a good way to just keep some income coming in. And I love cartoons. So
yeah, sure.
Can I ask a stupid question, Durant? When you do like the Trolls movie, is it... This might be really dumb. Is it like a bunch of people talking in the movie, or is it like you go alone and then they edit you into the movie? Do you know what I mean?
Mostly of it's alone, but it happens both ways. Like when I did Bob's Burgers, they kind of go for more of a conversational feel, so they like to have as many people there as possible, and they'll even do like one where it's like the West people who live in L.A. they'll do it here, and the people who live in New York they'll have to do it on a different day.
Yeah.
And then just as far as the Trolls, it was just me and a couple producers, and they would kind of play the other parts and then kind of try to amp me up so that we could keep the energy up.
Were you sitting like in a little production booth, just a little booth by yourself?
No, it's pretty large. It's enough for like 4 people to hang out comfortably.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love, because Rockstar just always had that thing.
Yeah.
So when you first get there, you're like, and you would do like 80 lines, and then they would go, okay, do those same 80 lines, but bring your energy up. Or and if you came in higher, just do them with a lower energy. And you're just like, is this working? They're like, yeah, it's working. Don't worry about it. It's somewhere in there. It's not like if you're doing anything in video where when the scene's over, everyone looks around.
Right. Or like getting notes on degrees of pain. Like, this is a kick in the shin. Now you've just been run over by a car. And you're like, okay, so
that is
more
the hardest when you're trying to do things where they're like, you gotta yell like you're in danger. And you're just like, well, I'm just in this booth right now.
I have a croissant and a wonderful juice. Everyone thinks that when you show up to do any of that kind of work that you need an amazing amount of food too. You ever know that? You go like, here's all this fruit. You're like, I used to work on a construction site. No one brought food.
You're right. Has anyone ever been like, why do you guys only have 19 granola bars? I'm here for 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's always a whole table.
There are people who know how to comfortably live in that world. Like the Kardashians would know how to be fawned over constantly, but we never would be able to figure it out. It takes years of living comfortably before you can
I'm happy to learn, though.
Well, you're on your way, dude.
Working on it.
I was watching an episode where Kim Kardashian was saying to her sister, I haven't been inside of a store in years. Like, what? What did she just say? She's like, it was like, I haven't got my own groceries in years.
Yeah. Well, they all Snapchat now too, and they know how to kind of lay on a couch like a cat. They're just always, and I'm like, I've never been as comfortable as these people.
That's how you make money.
Yes,
you gotta learn how to be like a cat.
Well, there's a thing too of Will Smith's family has more confidence than anyone in 3 states, and they are just comfortable in their confidence, and I think that's going to be 90% of what it takes in the world
to just say, I'm going to put something out there.
Yeah.
I know it's great.
Right.
You know, like they definitely don't seem like they second guess themselves.
No, with me, everyone goes, "Are you doing that thing?" I go, "Yeah, but I doubt if it's going to be very good. You know, it's going to stink probably." I don't know who I'm lowering expectations for because it doesn't matter to anyone else. But Will Smith and his entire family just feel like we've decided to write an encyclopedia. And we've never done it before, but we can. Maybe
I think it's going to be great.
Maybe it's the area that you were raised in or your own family.
Right.
But I grew up outside of Philadelphia. And the reason that Rocky is like a story where he loses at the end is that's what everyone believes there. You know what I mean? Like, everyone believes, like, if you tell them that you're doing
you ruined it for me.
Yeah, but wait till you see the second one. You'll be really happy. For some reason, then magic takes over. But Chris, did you grow up in a confident family? Or?
Oh God, no! It was like paycheck to paycheck. Everything was fucking crazy. Like no one was very believing in jinxes. So if anything even possibly good could happen, let's not talk about it.
The jinx thing is weird, and part of that was to act like something that I don't know whether that might even be a Catholic thing, but you don't want to make God mad by telling him how excited and happy you are. You know,
right?
Like you don't want to say things are going well.
It's a Catholic thing, but you know, it's a Jewish thing as well. Like they have a tradition where you don't announce that you're pregnant until very last minute because you don't want to, you know, jinx or say something that is, I don't know. They're very similar in that way.
Well, the Jews are also great at ruining other people's dreams. So at least in our business.
Oh, that's what you want to do? I don't know.
Vito, you grew up Italian. Were people confident or less than confident?
Yeah, they were pretty confident, and like even when they shouldn't have been confident, they like to flaunt and show off the little money that they had and act like it was a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Italians would put all their money into their car.
Yeah.
Before they would put it and their front yard. It's amazing. Like when you go through Brooklyn, people have statues like the houses are way bigger than what they really are. You just see these enormous statues on a row house. You're like, why? Yeah, Italians like to flaunt it.
Yeah, my cousin he's now the super of a building, and the first thing he did was like go out. He already had a car. He just bought a new Lexus, and he doesn't have the money to be doing stuff like this, but he doesn't give a fuck.
Well, Italians in New York City, a lot of doormen, which is a really sweet gig to have for yourself, and a lot of supers. You can make, it's very difficult to become a doorman in New York City.
Yeah.
It's easier if you wanted to become an airline pilot.
Why? Tell me why.
Because it pays about the same. Now, if you get a job on the East Side, let's say you've got billionaires and millionaires living in your building. When Christmas comes around, you can get $50,000 from any of those people because they don't know what to spend on Christmas. And they always want to make sure their packages get up correctly.
Right.
So they're like, hey, you know, Tony, you've been here all year. Here's a little something for you. You might have 30 or 40 people giving you anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 at Christmas. Great gig. Wow.
And they have a good union too, right?
Yeah, you can't fire a doorman. You can just get him moved to another building.
25 an hour, that's like the top they can make. They start off with 15. I'm on a doorman payroll, so I can go in whenever I want to.
Is that right?
Yeah, because my cousin's a super, so he put me on. My uncles, I have a bunch of uncles who are supers. They put me on their payrolls just so if I wanted to pick up hours in college and stuff, I could.
So you can go and do, like, you're the part-time guy?
Yeah, for one specific company called Orsid.
Do you still do it?
No, I haven't done it in like a year. And it's really like the building that like I was doing was hard because you had to remember every single person's apartment because I had to press the elevator for them in the lobby.
Yeah.
And if you asked them which apartment they were from, they would get really pissed at you.
See, that's the thing we're talking about, that kind of confidence and comfort.
Yeah, you should know where I live.
Yes.
I don't know where I live.
Take me there.
It would never occur to me, why am I telling this moron to hit 7D?
I literally, in my life, I'm not even kidding, I just expect the worst. Like, I plan for the worst, not the most, you know? Like, that, he said his uncle bought a new car. I crashed my car recently. I bought a bicycle. I swear to God. I was like, what if we just had one car and I rode a bicycle? Because I was expecting it all to fall apart at any time.
Ron Funches is in studio. Ron Funches is performing tonight through Saturday at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City.
Go see this gentleman, by the way. So funny.
Go to carolines.com for tickets. And Trolls with Justin Timberlake and Ron Funches comes out November 4th. Jamie LaSalle is in studio. Jamie will be performing at the Brokerage in Belmore, New York on July 15th and 16th. Go to brokerage.govs.com for tickets. And you can see Jamie on the show Real Rob, which has just been picked up. Season 2 on Netflix.
Nice. Netflix is a nice gig for you now. Although, I don't want to say anything nice because you expect the worst.
Yeah.
You expect everything to go wrong.
I do.
What about you, Ron? Are you...
I'm turning that around.
Yeah.
I'm turning that around. I used to, especially when I did stand-up sets, I felt like I was robbing a bank, where I'd be like, oh, I got away with it this time, but I'm not returning to the scene of the crime. And I realized that, that didn't really work for me. It didn't suit me. It didn't really, it just made me nervous. And then it came from working a lot with Dalia and stuff, and I was just like, oh, one of the main things that I enjoy about your comedy is the fact that you look like you love it so much.
Yeah.
And you look very confident about it. And I was like, oh, that's an easy fix. And that's just kind of how I've been living my life lately. Like, I know bad things will happen, but I also know good things will happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of living like that right now. Hopefully I'll get to a point where I don't expect any bad things and I can be a jerk to elevator people. But I'm not there yet, but God will.
When elevator guys see you, they just start shaking. Everything has to go perfectly. Well, Dalia is a guy that he kind of lives like a rock star. You know what I mean? He comes in and out of rooms like everyone, this is going to be great. And then he leaves, this was great. And he goes on to his next thing. But he doesn't, at least from the outside, ever look like he's concerned about a thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I like to take little lessons from anybody that I work with. And I was like, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Because I think that works. And it works at any point. I mean, I even looked at it as like, just in general human interaction and dating, like what's more attractive? Somebody who's like, do you like me? Do you like me? Are you sure you like me? Or someone who's like, I don't give a fuck.
It is true. The last thing I think women want to do is see somebody with a lack of confidence. Is that right?
That's absolutely true. And I think, but it's weird that it does not work that way for men at all. Like men, I don't think see confidence as sexy in women.
I don't know. I like a woman who seems to like know what she wants and what she's doing. You know,
to me, I think that men really like women who are about men. Like they're like,
just,
oh yeah,
like a servant woman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that is.
I
sexy.
feel like what guys are you hanging out with? is the question. Because I know a lot of guys. I just had this conversation. I guess I'll name drop because I'm in the right place to do it with Reggie Watts. We were on a flight together, and we just spent 3 hours, and we ended up getting to relationships. And our biggest thing was that we both wanted a woman to be like, I'm impressed by her. Like I want to be able to go up to my friends and be like, this is what she does, and this is what she's about. Isn't she so great? And like that to me is more important than somebody doing exactly what I want or liking exactly what I like. If you like exactly what I like, then you're probably super weird for a lady. Yeah. So like, I like it when you like your own thing and you want to do your own thing and you invite me into it. And also you're confident enough that if I'm like, you know what? I'm glad you like that, but I don't care for it. That you're like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah. That's what I like. And then just be impressive. That's it.
Yeah, I always like women to do things that I can't even understand. I'm like, oh, I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, exactly. That turns me on.
But see, Reggie is a very confident guy. He's the guy who goes, I think I can make a whole act out of this phone somehow. You're just like, what? There is no art to be taken out of the thing that you're doing. Like, if you see Reggie on TV, you see about 1/1,000,000th of the skills that he has at any time. Like, he could just pick up a tuba, make a song out of it. Or if there's no instruments, suddenly everything is an instrument. He's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
I don't know how many times I go, wait, a microphone does all those things?
All of them.
All of those things that you're making it do? Crazy talented.
Yeah, he'll open your. Yeah, I go like, oh, okay, I can do anything. Like I didn't. I didn't even think about the things that I could possibly do. He opens your brain up, which I like.
And there's not a lot of people who are equally as good at comedy as they are music.
Yeah,
it's a very rare thing, and you'd think it would be much more common, but it's quite like there's some guys that can sing and some guys that could play. But Reggie could go be a band leader, you know?
Him and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. Justin Timberlake, another guy, couldn't be more confident. Incredibly confident. Insanely. And out of all those boy band guys, he's like one of the few that went on and had a solo career. Insane. We're hanging out with Ron Funches, Jamie LaSalle. Where are they going to be playing, Chris?
Ron Funches will be performing at Caroline's Comedy Club. That's tonight through Saturday. Go to carolines.com for tickets, and on Twitter it's at Ron Funches. And Jamie's performing at the Brokerage in Belmore, New York on July 15th and 16th. Go to brokerage.govs.com for tickets. And Jamie's show, Real Rob, is on season 1, streaming now on Netflix, and it just got picked up for season 2. And on Twitter it's at Jamie LaSalle.
Caroline's was just on the last Gaffigan show, and it looks so funny to just see everyone from the club was just in the show, and you're walking through the kitchen to get to the green room. That's one of the funny things of comics running shows now, is it really is more reality TV than reality TV. You know, people just write like, "Here's what I did last night," and that becomes the show. But you're doing that on your show, James.
Yeah, the Gaffigan show, I'm dying. That's on my I can't wait to watch it list. Are you a fan?
It's
Loving
on,
it?
Yeah, it's on TV Land, and it's incredibly great. And again, and Gaffigan talks about this all the time. He's made this show he's proud of, but then it's hard to get people to find TV Land. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can get these shows, but then you got to go out and explain. There's also a network that you got to go to.
Yeah.
You know? Netflix was like that a little while ago, but the great thing now for Netflix and comedy, and I know it's worked for a couple people, is that if you turn it on and the special is still there, where it doesn't seem like that happens with Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Tom Segura has gotten a nice long run. I don't know whether you guys saw Amy Wong's new special.
Ali Wong, yeah.
Ali Wong.
Yeah.
Amazing. And it hangs around, and you can hit it on Netflix anytime you go on.
That's what freaked me out about getting the show on Netflix, was that walking down the road, even in New York City, and knowing I could walk up to anybody and get them to see it. Like, go, hey, give me your phone. I can put it right there. I can put my that like freaked me out the most, because
everybody's watching it now.
You ever like been happy for a buddy, and you go like, oh, the guy goes like, oh, I got this new TV show, and you go, oh my god, I'm so excited, like, how do I watch it? And they go, well, you have to be flying JetBlue, and then you put it on the show, and you're like, oh my god, where is it? You know, like, it's very difficult to find some of these things. So I feel lucky it's on there. Like you said though, the being about comedy and about like what happened last night, we could have never written this show if it wasn't that, because that is all that I feel like I know that I might be an expert in. And literally, like, the opening scene of the entire season was something that Schneider had told me once, and I said, dude, it's just like, it's funny, self-deprecating. He was walking through an airport, and a guy came up to him and he goes, hey, Rob Schneider, man. He goes, will you sign my DVD for me? And he goes, yeah, sure. And he pulls out a DVD, and he goes, it's Deuce Bigalow, and it's a pirated DVD. That says nothing on it. And he wants him to sign it. He's like, is it on there? He's like, yeah, it's on there, man. Don't worry about it. And he's like, you signed the bonus features? It's like another blank CD, and he has to sign it. It's a real thing that happened. Like, oh my god, you don't have to write that.
That is insane. And now people don't even bother having the physical thing, the pirate, but they will steal anything off the computer. Like, music is now worth zero.
Yeah.
You know, and I talked to like a lot of classic rock guys, a lot of classic Motown guys, and they thought they were going to have this money coming in forever. No more. All that is gone. because we won't pay for it anymore.
Yeah, we're all Spotify-ing it, including myself.
Yeah.
Except for my album, Funches of Us, purchase it.
It's hanging out with these guys today. And you guys have never met, right? That's
No, I never met.
Did you just do Not Safe Show with Nikki Glazer? I thought so. Very funny, man. I saw a clip on Twitter there. I've been just a fan from, I see you at the, on the posters and at midnight and Undateable with those guys and stuff, but good to finally meet you, man.
Never met before.
Undateable had to be a blast to do, huh?
It was a fun time.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was a great, but it's also real hectic and schedule, scripts were always coming last second and, live, you have to do it twice. So I'm happy happy it happened. I'm not necessarily super sad that it's gone, but I am sad. I'm always sad when I have to tell somebody and I see their face. Like,
Right.
They're always kind of like, oh, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't know you cared so much.
Yeah. Well, it was like the first really interactive show, you know, and we had talked about that before. Like, I think there's going to be a lot more shows doing.
Yeah, we did a lot of fun, weird things, and then they let me even just do ideas, and they would take them with the opening credits. Always our credits were our Twitter handles, and that was I just was like, we're already always interacting. Why don't we just do our credits as a Twitter handle? And then now I'm seeing other people starting to do that more and stuff, and I think that's pretty cool. And just exactly how interactive we were, whether it was during the show or in between commercials or after the show. I think it was a great way to just get the loyal fan base that we have. It just apparently wasn't enough.
Well, your Twitter is blowing up while you're doing live TV. Your phone is just buzzing the whole time.
Yeah, and it's good, and it's great turnaround for when I do live stuff to be able to keep reaching those people.
Yeah. That is always the funny thing about stand-up is no matter what else they do, it's the feedback into stand-up. You know what I mean? There was at no time that, let's say Denzel Washington didn't think, hey, this will really help with my live appearances.
Right. That's all I think about with everything. That's it.
Isn't that the funniest thing in the world? You'll be like, now I can draw in Arkansas.
I think it's one of the biggest deals you have, especially when you're a middle actor like me, is the fact that I don't necessarily I can still pull money in. When you're just acting, that's all you do, and someone cancels your show, and let's say with our show, they canceled it pretty deep into when pilot season had already started happening. So it was really hard for anybody to get a job because everybody had already staffed up. So the fact that I could go back on the road and just do stand up is a godsend, and I will never stop doing it because it's what pays the bills and what I love to do.
Well, here's what I think is going to be great, because so many comedians are dramatic and dramatic acting now that you're going to see someone read it, win an Oscar and go, and you'll be able to see me the 15th through the 18th at the Funny Bone.
I want to be that guy.
Ron Funches, you're great, man. Thank you so much for stopping in
Thanks
today.
for having me.
We're always cheering for you. We get the biggest kick.
I love all the support I get from you guys, and then the fact that so many people, when I come to New York, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna go do Bennington show?" I'm like, "You have to go," and I was like, "Yeah, cool. Of course."
Yeah.
But it makes me happy.
Well, I'll see you next time coming through. Plug away, Chris, one more time.
Ron Funches, he'll be performing tonight through Saturday at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City. You go to carolines.com for tickets. On Twitter, it's at Ron Funches. And Trolls, which Ron will be in with Justin Timberlake. That comes out November 4th. And his album, Bunches of Us, you can purchase. And then Jamie LaSalle, he's performing at the Brokerage in Belmore, New York on July 15th and 16th. Go to brokerage.govs.com for tickets. And his show, Real Rob, the first season's available now on Netflix, and there's going to be a second season coming soon. And on Twitter, it's at Jamie LaSalle.
We'll be right back, Bennington. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. Ron Funches is gone. Jamie LaSalle still with us.
I'd like to get some Tito's vodka and just some Blackout Select Blinds.
I would love that myself.
Sleep all day.
Sit in nice shades.
You combine those too.
Yeah.
It sounds really relaxing.
Yeah.
And luxurious.
Nice blinds are nice.
I know.
And that thing about not having the cord for the dogs and kids.
And the kitties.
Yeah, it's real.
Uh-huh.
That's real. In my neighborhood, it's just...
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
No, he was also very depressed.
Oh, okay. So it was more of an option then.
For you.
But you know what? That option's off the table. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even have to think of it as an option.
Well, here it was literally next to the table. The kid could climb up on the table, jump into it. But yeah, they've turned it around. You know, tomorrow, remember the guy who called in and said tomorrow is the National Day of Rage?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that's an internet rumor. Somebody sent that to
Dude,
us.
I was going to say that, and I should have just said it. I was going to be like, dude, I doubt that that's true. I doubt that that's what they called it.
Look, last time I believe a
Should've
rumor
said
like that was at my school. Everyone walk up front at 1:15 and spark up a joint. And I'm like, this is going to be outrageous. And there I am, smoking pot by myself as the principal comes out. Your gig starts when? Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
What do you do when you have a night off in a city that you don't live in?
I'm doing a red eye. Little Fox News red eye.
This is going to be exciting time for Fox News still, you know?
Yeah, and you're talking to a guy that, you know, I'm not exactly your Fox News guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or even your political guy on either spectrum. And I go in there and I try to find the angle.
Yeah.
They're like yesterday, they were like, you know, Donald Trump he demanded an apology from Chief Justice. And I'm like,
Ginsburg.
What kind of apology is a demanded apology anyway? I focus on the apology. Is it even genuine if you're demanding it? That's where I go.
He's demanding an apology from a 90-year-old woman who can't be fired, by the way. I mean, that's the one job that you can drink at because you can't be fired. She's 90, and there's no one to say, hey, you've been here long enough.
They wear robes to work. They just get up. They don't even change.
That's
they
like
just
me
walk
at
out
home.
there.
The way they're at work is the way I am at home.
You can smoke a pipe.
The thing that I don't like, though, is that we don't put on the wigs like the English do. I admire that.
You like a nice powdered wig to make it really official.
Right. To let people know you're smart. Look at this wig.
Now, don't they have a different gavel? I feel like their gavel's more festive.
Wait, this is new to me.
I feel like their gavel is bigger. Or maybe I'm thinking about cartoons I've seen. That could be it.
I know it's
just like comically overset.
That sledgehammer that you have at carnivals.
The cartoon gavel and the cartoon mousetrap are much larger.
Yes, they're much bigger
life.
than you would expect.
I'm not seeing any difference in gavels here.
In the English gavels?
In English gavels? I thought it meant Supreme Court.
No, Supreme Court, they don't even need. At our Supreme Court, no one's going to be talking so loudly. Hey, stop it.
Order.
By the way, it's a bad idea I just tried to make my phone, my gavel, and as I did it, I was like, ooh, that was a bad idea.
My phone can't be broken now because it has this thin piece of rubber around it. It cannot be broken.
Indestructible?
Yeah. I don't have one of the ones that you can put under a hose like I keep saying.
I have the OtterBox, which is mostly waterproof, I hear.
Mostly.
But then I saw, like, that's kind of how they say it. But then I saw a video on YouTube where somebody was like, you know, they say mostly, let's see if they're just being safe. And they went snorkeling just with my phone in this exact case. And they were fine. They took it out. Wow. It was totally dry.
Were they able to talk underwater?
No.
I just saw an angelfish. I don't know why you would talk like that.
Well, because there's water all around.
You guys, I don't mean to brag about my phone case, but if you open right here, there's a license and credit card inside. So that when you lose this phone, you lose everything.
Everything goes. They'll have your phone. They could probably figure out your passcode with that.
They've stolen everything.
They're like, somewhere the numbers are in here. I know it.
But that is great. I love that phone case.
Little hole in the back. Yeah.
This is great. So then the panic that you feel when you think you've left your cell phone is astronomically greater than even anyone else's.
License, it's all in there.
Why didn't you show that to Ron Funches?
I should have. I wish he liked me. It's all
no, he liked you a lot.
I think he did.
He said to me later, he goes, can you give me his number?
Wow.
And I said, it's better if you guys work through me. You know what I mean? I want to keep myself in that position.
Hey, Ron, could you put me through to Funches?
Just 1 minute?
How may I direct your call? Ron Bennington here.
It would be nice to be that guy. Then
That'd
I know
be
what
awesome.
everything's going on. You know, I have this business wired.
Listen, I have Funches holding for you. Put him through.
But then you're listening into plans, so if it's not good, you don't go. But if something sounds like a nice meetup, you just show up.
Or I'll just be able to hop in and 10 minutes into it where they're talking like, guys, I'm not sure if that's going to work out for either one of you. I just don't see crossover shows in 2016.
Listen, I got Goldman. You want me to tell Funches you're busy?
I'll be a party line for everybody. And how about, because I'd done this thing with Big J, and he said he was kind of the thing in the spider web of his friends. And now, because of that, his friends are furious with him, and they say, we see each other all the time. As a matter of fact, we're probably less close with him than anyone.
Wow.
So, in Big J's mind, he was the guy. Without him, like, let's say if Jay died, the whole New York scene would fall apart.
Right.
But at least as far as he believes, you know? But apparently his friends feel totally different. No, I wouldn't have met any of them without Jay.
No. Yeah, they say they knew each other before they ever met Jay.
I know.
I'm happy not to be the web that
I don't
keeps
want to be the
friends.
web either. I've
It's
been
great
that
to
before.
be like, my friends hang out consistently, and then every like couple months, I'm like, hey guys, and they're like, hey! That's a great person to be.
We've been drunk 30 times since we saw you.
And then get a couple of groups so you can like move within those. They're always excited to see you. They're only catching you up on the important stuff, so then you never have to go through like the daily like, oh my God, Barbara at work is, and you're like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is because I don't see you enough.
Being an
so-
organizer of any kind sounds like
Right.
a nightmare.
Because I'm the guy who tells the organizer, I don't think that works.
Yeah, and you can't call in sick to yourself with an
Yeah.
excuse. You need someone to...
Yeah. But then I'll also say, I know that you're putting this together, but I think Mexican has been done too many times. Maybe sushi. Call everyone back.
I just keep
He's a naysayer,
Yeah.
but like not
That's what
coming
I'm
up with a
good
new
at.
idea.
I'm good at saying I don't
No,
like the
that's terrible.
decorations.
What do you want? I don't know.
I don't know. You pick. You're good at this.
Come on, and make sure everyone likes it too.
I just love the idea of Ron being on the phone with me and my comic friends. I keep thinking about it. He's like, you know what? I don't think that will work in your act. That's good for here on this
Yeah.
phone call, but no, I wouldn't.
That's as far as it goes. Chris, you lost all your friends.
Yeah, gone. But I got a new crew of friends.
What happened?
He won't tell us exactly.
Something happened. I don't know. But then they didn't want nothing to do with me. That's fine.
Did one of them say that to you?
I get it. You know, like, listen, I'm not getting invites. That's fine. I don't need that shit. I don't need to hang out with them. It's fine.
But you never called them.
Mm-mm.
And they still run on like a pack.
Yeah, it's still a pack, yeah.
These are friends from radio world? Or?
College and high school.
Yeah, this is his crew, his squad forever. And now he's hanging out with a new nerdy squad from here.
Look, you got Ryan Sampson from the Morning Mashup.
That's pretty cool.
You got Mark Zito from Promotions. There's Jeff the Sax Man, Harry Connick Jr.'s saxophone player.
That's probably your strongest player right there.
I don't know. Morning Mashup is still pretty cool. You know, it's top 40.
Yeah. The guy knows all the top songs of the day.
I might want to get in on this crew. But you don't know why you lost your lifetime friends.
No.
You did something drunk, obviously.
I
Right?
say something must have happened during a blackout. Something like fucked up.
Man. What is it about you that you're afraid to go find out?
You know, I feel like, let's just move on. Let's look forward.
That's not what I
backwards.
asked. What is it about you that's afraid to find out what, so that you could put an end to the, like, hey, I got it. Or just say, hey, have a good life. We were friends for 15 years?
Somewhere around, right around
I think you need to go by. You
think?
Yes. I think the healthy adult thing is to figure out what went wrong and deal with it.
I think you should.
Yeah.
What was your last night? Do you have the memory of the last
I
time?
guess sometime last year at this point.
Drinking? Was there?
It was drinking. I was always drinking involved.
Do you remember anyone yelling at you like, we're done with you, Chris? Or,
No, but
fucking animal?
like when you, when you black out and you wake up the next day, you obviously don't remember anything, but there's that feeling.
Yes, that feeling. I had that feeling many times.
That feeling is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's just like something did happen, and there's no phone calls. So,
do you think it was a sexual assault of any kind?
I hope it wasn't a
Because
sexual
I saw
assault.
you
I don't think so.
drinking that you were borderline sexual assault.
I don't think there was a sexual assault. And
I'm going to guarantee it was sexual assault.
Let's put the emphasis on borderline, all right? Not the sexual assault.
I'll only say borderline because one person started to go with it.
Oh no. Terrible.
Do you remember someone yelling "no" means no? Do you have any?
That I don't remember.
Have you ever drank to blackout though, Jamie? Are you that?
Yeah, because I had to stop drinking mostly because of that stuff. I literally earlier today was on the phone with a different comedian, and he told me a story that I was a main character in, that I cannot believe that I was completely blacked out during. Apparently, I was at a casino and I was gambling, and I was like getting bad hands and just swearing, like going like fuck, whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, you don't remember this? I'm like, no, dude. What? And he goes, I guess I said fuck a couple times, and the pit boss came over and he said, this is all in blackout. This might not even be true, but I mean, I trust my buddy. And he said, then the guy came over to you and he said, hey, if you say fuck one more time, you're out of here, because it's 3 fucks and you're out. And apparently I turned to him and said, how many cunts do I get? And I guess, by the way, the answer is 1. I was sent up to my room, and he says, and this sort of comes back a little bit. He said, I went to my room, and I was escorted by a guy, and then I disappeared. And he said a half hour later, I came back in disguise.
Oh my God.
He said, you used to wear glasses. You took your glasses off, and you came down like in the same hat, but it was like backwards. And you sat at the table thinking no one would recognize you in your disguise. And then the waiter came by, and I ordered like the same drink I'd been drinking all night. Like, oh, hey, Johnny Walker, right on the rock. And he goes, and then you were just like back up in the elevator getting kicked out again.
That, first of all, is funny as shit. And second of all, yeah, you probably needed to quit drinking. You were at that point where the same thing could have happened, but with a gun. You know what I mean? Like, I came back down later in a disguise and with a gun.
No one will recognize me with this gun.
It took me a while. Like, it was like a lot of stuff like that for a few years. Like a lot of really scary stories where I wouldn't remember. And then
I had been thrown out of a place, and my idea that I had, and I don't remember any of this, but my idea is that I was going to take my car and drive it through the front doors of the place as a way of saying to them, now who's banned from this terrible, shitty nightclub to begin with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, people had told me about it later, and I had I'll just say zero recollection of it. But that was my master plan, was to drive through the front doors.
That's frightening.
Yeah, and I mean, that isn't an idea that I would have at any other time.
No.
Like there was no other time.
I could see where it came from, though. Like being in that set, I could see you going, like, how can I bypass the bouncer?
Right.
What if I just drive in there?
More of them than me, but what if I'm in a car? And what if they don't expect it because they're indoors? You know? I mean, this would have been great if I was in ISIS. You know what I mean? Like, that would be like everybody in ISIS be like, oh, fuck, you got it. Really? You know? But I wasn't. That's the thing.
The man.
I was, yes. I was a guy with other guys. And that idea would have been a terrible one if fucking people didn't, like, do the whole I'm taking your keys and you're not driving through those doors. I don't know. Seemed like a fucking smart one. So you lost all your friends.
Yeah.
You quit drinking, though.
5 months. And more.
Wow.
You did? I didn't know that.
He quit drinking, he quit smoking.
Quit smoking cigarettes, too.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, not having any friends will do this to you. And he's trying out for the New York Football Giants to be their place kicker.
I'm working out a lot, yeah.
That's the only one I feel like you're going to succeed in, that one.
I have a feeling that when that happens...
Don't be a troll.
And you get that, right?
Yeah.
Your friends are going to want back in.
You know what? I might take him back, too. But then kick him out again, like I fooled you.
Now I don't want to be your friends, and then put them in a doorway, and I'll run in through them in my car, making a long dream finally come true.
We got him, Rod.
Well, we're going to be up in Montreal for the Montreal Comedy Festival.
That's July 29th and 30th up at Montreal. You go to theinterrobang.com, and it's right on the front page, Unmasked is taking to Montreal. Click on that link, and that'll tell you how to hang out with us and see some Unmasked.
You guys are going to have a blast, Montreal.
Well,
I'm excited for it.
Disagree. It's just you're surrounded by comedians.
It's gonna be amazing.
Lobby.
Fun.
Lobby, that
be
loud
awesome.
lobby of people being funny.
I'm
Lobby's
excited
great.
for it.
There's all those elevators. Hopefully, all 4 will be available this year.
I think, to me, comedians are like prostitutes, where with one, it's great. You know what I mean? But if it's just packed packed with prostitutes.
It does.
And they're like,
Even when Funches was here, I didn't know when to jump in.
yeah.
Do they even need me?
And like he'll just go like this, and that's why I like it. And then everybody laughs and says he's great.
That's so adorable.
I went and got and I'm so sweet. He said that one time. He goes, "I'm so sweet. I thought that they said," and they're like, he said that he thinks of himself as sweet.
Wow. He's like so like genuine, likable, and charismatic. Just
by the way, you know who loves him? All women.
Really?
All fucking women
Makes sense,
are crazy about him. Because he's the teddy bear. He's the walking teddy bear.
I just go through life wishing I was other people. I mean, that is very impressive.
You should be if you can. You get any opportunity, dude. You should go for it. Vito, you're normally jealous of other people, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I just want to be more like a successful person.
But you always want to be like a Ryan Gosling, something you don't have a shot at.
Well, he's the coolest guy in the whole world, and he wears those cool jackets. He has that nice hair.
That's too high for you to shoot, though. If that's what's going to finally make you happy, you'll never get
He's
there.
mostly focused on the body.
I feel like he could
loves
get the
that
jacket.
body.
I mean, if you really tried.
Okay, maybe the jacket. Why don't you just say?
Would
you're
you
jealous of
settle
his
for the jacket?
I didn't know. You mean the jacket from the movie Drive?
No, it was actually the jacket he wore in the day he came here.
What? How are you going to pick that over the Drive jacket?
The jacket. If you're going to go
the
for the
jacket he wore here was phenomenal. It was like an updated Beat It jacket.
I forgot that he was here, but I think that's a vest that you're impressed with.
Oh, no,
there
it is a jacket.
Yeah,
That is a good jacket.
It's like a baseball jacket.
Yeah, it's a good look. Looks good on him.
But say I wore that jacket, wouldn't you be like, what an asshole, what a stupid jacket?
That jacket would look great on you.
I think it's him. You don't think it's him?
I think that jacket would look lovely on you.
He's a movie star, and that's a freak of nature when you're a movie star, you know?
It's a great jacket. You're right, Vito.
Why don't you try to just shoot for one of the guys that hangs out with him?
A nice white denim jacket.
And Gail, I want to make clear, his body's not the one I talk about.
Oh,
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron's bod. That's the body that you're obsessed with.
Well, you should start fucking thinking about the fridge's body. Trying to shoot for that.
That's the current goal.
Man, my reference points are always so fucking right on. Here's something from 1986, everybody. Yeah, that's too much.
That is.
That's too much.
I think Vito could do it. I really do. I think he could do it.
Why are you lying to him?
I mean, how many lifetimes would he need for his body to look like that?
I have really slowed down on carbs.
I doubt that.
I saw him
say
eat a
you-
fucking loaf of white bread in the office yesterday.
A whole loaf?
Yeah, he
Did
called
he
it.
have anything with it?
No, it was just dry white bread.
No way, dude. You're sitting around eating dry white
He was ripping through it. I'm
Yesterday was carb day.
I was like, the heel too? You're eating the fucking heel?
I'm going to point this out to you. Yesterday was Wednesday.
I put all my carbs
no
on one
such
day.
thing as carbs day.
All those carbs are on one day of the week.
Why?
No carbs the rest, except for my morning oatmeal.
What is this diet you're on?
It's, I don't know, just the new diet that I do. That's what I call it.
So you do one day nothing but carbs.
One day nothing but carbs.
And then
all
the next
carbs.
day, nothing but mustard?
And then like grilled chicken and broccoli and asparagus. I ate so much asparagus the other night that I forgot about how bad the pea gets.
Oh, God.
And it smelled worse than
I really don't like the pea,
Don't even hear about
the asparagus pea thing. In fact, sometimes it makes me almost want to choose not to eat asparagus, but it is delicious, and I do it anyway.
I normally order it as a side if I smell that. I'm like, oh, asparagus.
What's that? You're in the men's room. You're like, I know what I'm gonna get.
Here's
I know what I'm gonna get.
Here, I will tell you this. Go into a Hooters restroom anywhere in the country, and it smells like the sauce.
Oh, no.
Yeah. As if you should be sitting on the toilet while you're eating those wings.
Save time.
Yeah. We got to wrap this show up, huh?
Yeah, we do.
Jamie, it was great to see you, buddy.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. You guys are awesome.
I'm sorry if we kept you too long.
No, I really appreciate it. I want to tell you guys, I probably tell you this every time, but honestly, on the road when I'm stuck on, I live in Alaska now, and so I have big, long flights all the time. But you guys I do the podcast thing on Audible. I get the show. It literally gets me through. the road day. So I appreciate it.
That's very, very kind of you to say. Dan, you're stealing it from Audible. I think that's fantastic.
I think I pay money.
Well, you pay them, but it doesn't come back here.
Oh, God, I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
I started to have that feeling Chris gets when he's blacked out in the morning as I was saying
We'll put an end to that. Don't worry. The plug will get yanked.
Jamie's performing at the Brokerage in Belmore, New York tomorrow night and Saturday, July 15th and 16th. Go to brokerage.govs.com for tickets. And the first season of Real Rob with Jamie is on. That's streaming now. That's streaming now on Netflix. And the second season's coming soon.
Very happy for you and very proud of you.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
That's it for us. We're going to be in 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Bright and early.
Also, it's the conversation that Paul Feig and I had from the Ghostbusters set. I mean, you want to talk about a giant movie that you can't believe the size of the set and the whole budget. Walking on there was mind-blowing to see that. I'm sure yours is close, but this was like when I went there, I was like, oh, this is why movies cost $180 million. Wow. I get it now. Makes sense. They moved the New York City into a warehouse. The subway's in a warehouse. It was unbelievable. And we'll be doing more. So we'll see you guys at 7 a.m. and in 2 shows tomorrow. And then we'll also be back here in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!